Most people start an agency for the freedom to work less, travel more, and enjoy life on their terms. But the truth is that most agency owners end up working weekends, chained to needy clients, and terrified their business will collapse without them. In this video, I'm going to show you 6 steps on how I'd go from $0 to $50,000 per month in this full AI agency course. I've packaged everything I've learned, plus my best trainings from 7 years of scaling my own businesses and helping 100 other agencies pass $50,000 per month into one place. You're going to learn how to pick a niche that gives you consistent demand and clients willing to pay premium prices, how to craft high ticket offers so you can stop chasing $1,000 deals and start attracting $10,000 clients, how to build AI appointment setters to book calls while you sleep, and how to close and retain $10,000 clients step by step so you can finally scale without sacrificing weekends or your sanity. So if you're serious about escaping the grind and building a real business that provides lifestyle, keep watching. This video is just for you. A lot of the agencies I consult ask me about the easiest way to build a $10,000 per month marketing agency in 2025 without burning out chasing bad clients. I've built multiple 6 and 7 figure offers in the AI and marketing space, and today I'm going to share the 3 most profitable niches I'd go into if I had to start from scratch. These are proven industries where clients will pay you $2,000 to $10,000 per sale. I'll also break down the cost, effort, and upside and how to turn these niches into highly profitable clients so you don't become just another average service provider. So if you're tired of being stuck in saturated markets or building offers that get ignored, pay close attention because this could be the thing that changes everything. Today, we're going to be talking about finding your ideal client. So it's very imperative to actually find a niche that is worth diving into. I've worked with a lot of agency owners, and one of the biggest things is niche selection, right? Because you need to find a niche that is actually going to want what you have to offer, but also where you can help them get amazing results. So, for example, a restaurant versus a roofing business owner, right? When it comes to restaurants, they charge, $20-$30 a meal. So you need to get them a lot of clients in order for you to justify charging $2,000, $3,000, whatever it is that you're charging every month. Whereas if you think of a roofing business owner, they charge $10,000 to $15,000 to replace one roof. So how many roofs do you think you need to get them in order for it to make sense? Right. So you want to keep that in mind. You take this with a grain of salt. You do what you think is right when it comes to your experience, knowledge, and things like that. But those are kind of the things that you want to think about. So this is my guide on selecting a niche. So selecting a niche is the first step in building out your offer. It's one of the most important pillars and foundation. So put lots of thought and effort into this and don't take any shortcuts. So a niche is an industry that you want to focus on. So for consulting profits, we look for this criteria in a niche. Is there at least 50,000 of these businesses in North America? Why do we do that? Because we want to know whether or not that this niche is scalable. Okay. Is it easy to get a hold of the decision maker? This is very important because if you're going after huge companies, right? Think of like Amazon. How difficult is it going to be to get a hold of the decision maker? How long is a sales cycle going to be? It's going to be quite long. Okay. Do they charge their clients at least $1,000 in lifetime value? So for example, like I said, roofers charge a lot of money to replace a roof, but then we also got chiropractors. So yes, even though they may only charge $50 a session, well, they may continually do these sessions and work with their clients for years. Like I've been going to the same chiropractor for many, many years. So my lifetime value is very, very high. There's lawyers, e-com, coaches, consultants, course creators. There's a ton of different niches out there. So you need to answer yes to all these questions in order for the niche to actually be viable. So we niche down for these reasons. 1, you can charge significantly more when you're an expert in a specific niche. People just pay more when you're a specialist, right? Think about doctors. There's general doctors and then there's specialist doctors like brain surgeons. Significantly more. Okay. It allows you to productize your service. This is very important because when we talk about scaling, we want to be able to productize your service. And we talk about this in a consulting aspect as well later on in this program, where you actually are able to leverage certain fulfillment, right? It allows you to scale faster, and it's a positive flywheel effect where basically for every client you bring on, you're basically creating a positive flywheel. So put it this way. My agency works with roofers. Every time I get a roofer, they get amazing results. I iterate. The process is even better. So every time I get a new roofer, the process just keeps getting better because I'm only working with roofers, right? Whereas if I'm working with a lawyer, then a roofer, then an accountant, I'm starting from scratch every single time. Versus when I work with only roofers, I pretty much have 80% of the stuff I need, minus a couple things where I just need to tweak, like their business name, some of their branding, and things like that. But I know after running hundreds of campaigns for roofers, what kind of results I can get. Are there niches that are better than others? No. Every niche has its pros and cons. Don't go into a niche because you think it's going to be easier than another niche. The grass is always greener. Make sure it aligns with our criteria and make sure it's just something that you're kind of interested in. You don't necessarily need experience in the niche, but at least find it interesting enough where you're willing to go to commit to it. So step one, list out 5 to 10 niches right now. Okay, so you can do this by going onto any of these websites to look at different niches. Now, I focus a lot on local home service businesses that generally have pretty high revenue. You can go after any types of companies as long as it basically aligns with the criteria. So these are my recommendations. I like to peruse these industries on these websites. There's so many more. Do your own research. I'll leave them there if you want to go look at it. The next thing is you actually want to do this niche research worksheet. So before, you would actually need to speak to people, right? You'd actually need to talk to businesses and things like that. So nowadays, we actually have an AI version of it where we can actually use ChatGPT to do all the research that we need. All right, so basically, the whole point of this is to get insights into the niche. Okay, we want to find out what services they offer, the most profitable services, the types of leads they look for, what they've tried, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, and then basically you want to answer all of these questions. So if you're looking at multiple niches, then obviously you would write down the answers of the niches that you're researching. The point is though that you want to be able to do this because this is going to give you insights into building out your offer, but also understanding the space. It's very important to understand the niche that you're trying to make money in. So before, like I said, you used to have to talk to people. Now we can just use ChatGPT. So I use very simple prompts. So how I use ChatGPT is I do an initial prompt. Then what you're going to do is you're going to continue the conversation with ChatGPT almost as if like you were just talking to someone. So I don't like to use like crazy big prompts or anything like that. So we can basically fill this in. So let's just do this. Let's pretend we're researching house painting. And we'll go to ChatGPT here. Let's copy the prompt. All right, perfect. So let's just copy and paste this. Are you currently doing anything for marketing? Let's see what house painting ChatGPT does. Okay, so obviously they're going to give you a bunch of stuff. Then, like I said, we want to ask it deeper questions, right? So the whole point of this is we want to know what they're currently doing for marketing so that way we can create a gap. Now, this is an AI marketing agency, right? So the cool thing is they're doing all these things, but it doesn't look like they're even utilizing AI. Do most house painters invest into digital marketing? Right. So this is where I would ask, like, because there's a lot of digital marketing stuff on here, but I want to know what the most common house painters typically do. Right. So smaller companies, they probably have limited to digital presence, things like that. Okay, cool. So what are the revenue ranges of smaller companies? And you can see, like, I'm just trying to understand, okay, well, if larger companies are investing in Google Ads, SEO, and social media marketing, that's fantastic. We can go after them. And we know that they have the budget and you don't really have to convince them. right? And then we can add in AI and things like that to make their system even better, which is what this whole program is about, is teaching you how to create an AI marketing agency utilizing AI appointment setters and things like that, right? So we want to look at like this is pretty cool. Like small teams of 2 to 5 painters, they make 100 to 500,000 annually. Like they have the budget to be able to invest back into their business, because it's more likely or not that they want to grow, right? So you can see, just like from these things, I've already gotten a decent amount of info with like a couple questions. So you can go pretty deep on here and start doing your research and fill this out. So I'll leave you with that. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and let me know if you have any issues with it. But go and crush it, and hopefully ChatGPT makes your life easier. I know when I did this like 8 years ago, it was hard. I had to cold call. I had to go out and find roofers and things like that. So it's cool times that we're in that we can utilize AI. And I'm so excited to show you guys how to implement AI as well. So that's everything about goldmine niches. But knowing the right niche is only half the battle, because if you don't know how to deliver something wildly valuable and impossible to commoditize, you're just another agency offering the same thing as everyone else. That's why in this next training, I'm going to walk you through the exact AI infrastructure I use to generate $300,000 a month in revenue for my clients. Because when you can make your clients that kind of money, they'll gladly continue paying you $60,000 plus a year to keep doing it. Without real ROI, clients cancel, churn, and don't want to pay you. So if you want to sell AI systems that generate real revenue for local businesses and build a consulting offer that clients happily pay 5 figures or more for, then keep watching. So let's get started with the foundation that makes this entire $300,000 per month infrastructure possible. The first component of the AI infrastructure is data-backed ad campaigns. Now, to be clear, this isn't an AI agent, but it's the piece that makes every AI agent that follows actually work. And this is the part that separates the mediocre AI implementers from the ones who acquire 90% of the wealth. I had a client who spent $29,000 with us, and we turned that into just under $500,000 in revenue for them. We didn't use AI to magically create these campaigns. We used our extensive tracking data from what's already proven to work in their industry. We focused on key metrics like cost per lead, cost per appointment, and cost per job closed. This approach consistently delivers a 10x ROI for our clients because we're not starting from scratch. We're building on proven success patterns. To implement this for your clients, start by creating a robust tracking system that monitors key performance metrics across all your campaigns. Focus on cost per lead, cost per appointment, and cost per job closed. Don't rely on AI to write your copy. Write it yourself based on what the data tells you works. The power is in the data analysis, not in delegating creativity to AI. When you launch campaigns based on proven performance data, you can confidently promise results because you're replicating success and not guessing. This data-backed approach is what allows you to charge premium prices. Clients are paying for certainty, not experiments. So here's an example of one of our ad trackers. So you can see here we look on a 4-day, 7-day, and 30-day kind of timeline in terms of the metrics. And then you can look at overall months to date as well. So you can see how many qualified bookings we have, what our cost per qualified booking is, how many we canceled due to them not being a fit, how many actually showed up, how many calls actually showed up on the calendar, how many live calls taken, and what that cost per live call is. So the key to making this work and having the data that's really important to note is when you have data for the same industry. So if you're niching down into a specific industry and you start to track, multiple clients across the industry, you start to see patterns on what works. That's the importance of having this data, because then when you go into launching campaigns every time, essentially you're iterating off what already works and your results just get better and better because you have data to back it up. If you're not tracking your data, then you basically are starting from scratch every single time and you're hoping that a campaign is going to work. So clients, they don't want to experiment with their money on what you think is going to work, right? So they're paying you because you have a shortcut. And this is the easiest way to basically create a shortcut where it'll differentiate yourself from all the other agencies out there, is that you specifically have data for that specific industry that you've niched down in, where you can start to get results for them on day one, instead of going through like a 7 or 2 week or even month-long, testing period. Imagine if you could promise your clients, hey, we're gonna get you leads and qualified appointments on day one because we've done this for hundreds of clients. Once you have these data-backed campaigns generating qualified leads, you need something that converts them into appointments without human error or delay. This is where the second component of our AI infrastructure creates massive leverage. This second component is the biggest reason most agencies lose clients. When businesses don't call and convert the leads you generate for them, no matter how good your ads are, clients will blame you and cancel when they don't see results. This AI appointment setter fixes that so clients see results fast, they stop blaming you, and stay on as high-value retainers. We implemented an AI appointment setter for a client that reaches out to all their leads within 60 seconds of them coming in. The system automatically engages in a conversation to qualify them, asking them about their budget, project timeline, and specific needs, and then books them directly into the client's calendar. What makes this powerful is that it works 24/7, which means we're capturing appointments even at 11:30 p.m. on weekends when the business owner would normally be unavailable. For many of our clients, this has increased their booking rate from around 20 to 25% to over 80%, which translates to tens of thousands of dollars in additional monthly revenue without spending a single dollar more on ads. To implement an effective AI appointment setter, you need to build a system that responds to any lead within seconds of them opting in. The conversation flow should qualify prospects by asking them about their budget, timeline, and specific needs. Make sure to customize the qualifying questions for each industry. What works for a roofer will not work for a dentist. Train your AI to handle the most common objections and FAQs, and make sure it can book appointments directly into your clients' calendars. The key is making it conversational and personalized to the specific business. The ROI calculation is straightforward. If your client is currently booking 25% of leads and your system books them 80%, then that's more than a 3x improvement in revenue without increasing ad spend. All right, so here's an example of the AI appointment setter in action. So you can see here, it basically says, hey, thank you for filling out our Facebook form regarding our outdoor lighting services. Am I speaking with Jackson? Jackson is the person who submitted their info on the lead form. They say, yes, this is Jackson. The AI bot says, great to meet you, Jackson. What type of lighting service are you interested in installing for your home? They say mainly landscape for the backyard. So in this case, this business offers a few different types of services. So the first thing the AI is doing is actually asking what type of service that this person or this lead is looking for. The AI says, that sounds wonderful. Do you have an approximate budget in mind? The person says $5,000. So it's important to note as well, this AI appointment setter is actually qualifying them, and it's doing so in a really friendly way. But let's say they came back with a different number. They said $2,000. Well, in that case, the AI appointment setter wouldn't go any further because the minimum for a project like this would be $3,000. So if it says anything less than $3,000, then it's not going to even bother setting this into an appointment because it doesn't qualify. So because they qualified, the AI continues to go. So the AI says, thanks for sharing that. How soon are you looking to get started with your landscape lighting project? The prospect says, ideally this or next month before summer rolls around. And then basically the AI now has qualified the lead, and they're pulling actual times from the calendar of the business owner. So they're saying, hey, how about we schedule a 30-minute design consult for today at 9 a.m. or tomorrow at 8 a.m. Let me know if either of these times work for you. The prospect says, that's a bit early for us. Do you have time tomorrow in the afternoon? It goes back into the calendar, pulls a couple more times, and basically offers this to the prospect. So they said, we have availability tomorrow, Friday, March 14th at 2 p.m. or 3:30. Do either of these times work for you? They say 3:30 is perfect. They schedule it in. And when they do schedule it in, this actually gets pushed into the calendar. So the business owner is actually gonna see all the details of basically what the AI just went through. And all the business owner has to do is show up to the appointment and close, which is fantastic. Another thing to note here is the AI also gets the address of where the consult is happening, and we'll also plug that in as well. And then from there, they say the appointment is all set and they look forward to helping them with their lighting. So the AI is really good because as soon as leads come in, just from speed to lead alone, they're gonna generate a significantly higher conversion rate from lead to appointment set. And then on top of that, it's gonna disqualify any leads that aren't good and qualify all the ones that are good, and then directly put them into an appointment for the business owner, making it so that the business owner doesn't have to waste any money on someone calling the leads. People honestly prefer texting and going back and forth. It's really, really easy. And also the AI never sleeps. It works 24/7. So speed to lead is really, really key. And this can make or break a campaign. And if you're an agency owner and you have a bunch of clients, this will also help your retention as well, increasing the lifetime value of your own clients. But even the best appointment setter can't catch everyone on the first try. That's why the third component of our AI infrastructure is designed to capture the 70% of sales that happen after the initial contact. All right, so here's the AI in action when it's following up. So a lot of the time, people aren't going to respond on the first initial contact, whereas the AI is just going to continuously follow up and nurture the prospect. Where a lot of this slips and falls between the cracks is when you have a human trying to keep up with a bunch of follow-ups, and when you have 10, 20 leads coming in a day, that adds up, right? If that's a few hundred leads to keep up with every single month, naturally humans are just going to make mistakes and not be able to keep up with follow-ups. Whereas the AI is just very consistent. So you can see here, this person opted in, the AI initially reached out, there was no response, so they opted in at 9:44 a.m. The bot reached out 3 hours later at 12:44 saying, hey, just checking if this slipped through. Is this name? And then they didn't respond. So that was on March 27th. On March 28th, it basically reached out again. Said, hey, this is Brandon with OLP here again. Are you interested in adding outdoor lighting to your home? We're happy to help. No response. Then they basically reached out 24 hours later again saying, hey, we're currently running a promotion where you can book a free outdoor lighting discovery and design call with one of our expert designers. Let me know if you're interested. They tried to call, there was a missed call. And then they said, please let me know about your promotion. Of course, I'll have our office reach out. But that was four touch points before they got the lead to actually respond. So most of the time, human appointment setters will maybe do 1 or 2 follow-ups, but then they start to feel like they're, annoying the prospect. They don't want to be annoying and things like that. Or they're just not able to keep up with the organization it takes to follow up with all the leads. Whereas the AI, you can see here, was able to get this prospect interested again. So you compound that over hundreds of leads, it adds up to a ton of additional revenue. The third component is an automated follow-up and nurture system that continues engaging with leads until they either convert or explicitly opt out. This captures the significant portion of sales that happen after multiple touch points, which is a ton of revenue most local businesses completely miss. We've implemented follow-up systems for our clients that automatically continue reaching out to leads if they don't book an appointment on the first contact. The system follows up every 24 to 48 hours, ensuring no lead falls through the cracks. While I don't have a specific revenue number off the top of my head, we consistently see anywhere from 20 to 30% more appointments booked just from these automated follow-ups. That's a significant revenue increase that requires zero additional ad spend. We're just maximizing the value of leads they've already paid to acquire. Building an effective follow-up system is straightforward. Set your AI to reconnect with leads every 24 to 48 hours if they don't respond to the initial outreach. Keep the messages conversational and varied. You don't want prospects to feel like they're receiving templated messages. Measure success by tracking how many appointments come specifically from follow-up messages versus initial contact. When presenting this to clients, emphasize that these are additional appointments that they would have otherwise lost completely. It's essentially free money. Most businesses underestimate how many sales happen after multiple touch points. So showing them even a 20% increase in bookings from follow-ups can be eye-opening. While these first 3 components maximize the value of new leads coming in, most businesses are sitting on a gold mine they've completely forgotten about. The fourth component of our AI infrastructure taps into this overlooked asset for immediate cash flow. The fourth component is what I call AI cash campaigns, a system that mines your client's existing database for untapped revenue. This turns their dead leads into immediate cash flow without spending $1 on new advertising. We implement AI cash campaigns by taking our clients' old lead lists and using AI to reactivate them. Unlike what many people think, we don't need to create special offers. Simply reaching back out to these forgotten leads is often enough because most of these businesses never follow up consistently. The AI engages in these old leads in conversation and books appointments with those who are still interested. Using AI cash campaigns, we've been able to add anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000 of additional revenue into their business with zero ad spend. To implement AI cash campaigns for your clients, start by getting access to their entire database of past leads. These are people who expressed interest but never converted. Load these contacts into your AI appointment setting system, but customize the approach to acknowledge the time gap. For example, you can say something like, I noticed you were interested in roofing services a few months ago. Are you still looking for help with your roof? The key insight is that you don't need special discounts or offers. The simple act of following up professionally is enough to reactivate many leads. Most businesses completely abandon leads after a few days, so there's tremendous untapped value sitting in their CRM. The beauty of this component is that it generates revenue without any additional ad spend. You're just maximizing ROI on marketing dollars already spent. So you've just learned step one of the process, understanding the AI infrastructure that can help your clients generate up to $300,000 per month. Now it's time for step two, how to start selling what actually works. You have two choices. You can try to figure out how to build and sell this system on your own through trial and error, or you can join me on a free strategy call where I'll show you exactly how to implement this infrastructure for your clients in the next 60 days. So now you've seen how we build $300,000 AI systems that make local businesses real money. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter how good your system is. If you can't package and sell it, nobody's buying. The next training, I'm gonna show you how to create an offer that makes business owners stop asking, why should we work with you? And start asking, when can you start? This is where you stop selling services and start selling outcomes clients actually line up for. Super excited about this training. We're going to be talking about creating your AI marketing offer. So why do we need to create an irresistible offer? Why don't we just go and say exactly what it is that we do? Well, it all comes down to positioning your offer in the right way that makes sense to your client, right? So if you think about the last time you purchased something, it always comes down to your offer, to the offer that got you in. You think about the last time you're shopping at a mall or something like that, right? Why did you go into the store that you went into, then end up buying something? Because it's either the product or the offer, right? And usually a combination of both. You ever see like sales, for example, 25% off everything in the store. It's probably going to get you in the store because it's a good offer. So we want to kind of take that same mentality and bring it to your agency, because whenever I see agencies struggling, it always comes down to their offer. The offer is what's going to allow you to have a successful business, but it can also be a detriment to your business if you get this part wrong. The good thing is I've made a lot of successful offers in my career so far, so I'm going to show you guys exactly what you need to do. So it's imperative you actually build an offer that people truly desire. Okay. If you master your offer, you don't even have to be good at sales. Everything else falls into place because your offer is very good. So there's a few different things to consider when establishing an irresistible offer. The first one is extreme pain. You want to be able to solve something that's very painful. Okay. Purchasing power. We need to be able to have an offer that appeals to people or businesses that can actually afford your services, especially high ticket services, easy to target and growing markets. Those are pretty self-explanatory. So the riches are in the niches, right? The same product, the same service can 100x the price based on your positioning. Okay. So instead of just saying, I help people with Facebook ads, where you're going to get lumped in. Like the problem with this is there's so many agency owners that do this. And yeah, that worked like 10 years ago. Okay. But nowadays it's so different because when you just say those things, there's nothing that differentiates you. That is a commoditized offer. So what that means is you're at a race to the bottom. The only thing you can compete on is price, because I could go on Fiverr right now. I could find 100 people who charge like $200 a month for Facebook ads. All right. I could get AI to do a lot of this stuff. So now you're not competing. Like now you're just competing against everyone, right? So it's just really, really tough. Okay. One step better is saying, I help businesses generate leads with Facebook ads. Like still pretty weak, terrible offer. But if your core promise, right, and your positioning of your offer is helping, like for me, I say I help roofing companies land 5 to 10 new roof replacements every month using my rapid roofing lead system. Okay, so this is a result. It doesn't matter how I get them 5 to 10 new roof replacements. Doesn't matter what the rapid roofing lead system is, even though people get very curious what this is, okay? Because now this is a unique positioning of this offer, even though the frameworks of what I deliver are essentially the same, but it comes down to the positioning. I hope you guys understand how important this is. So, the goal of great writing is for the reader to understand. The goal of great copy is for the prospect to feel understood. So, if you can articulate their problems better and what you need to help them solve, you can provide the solutions to their problems and articulate that better as well. The bigger the pain the prospect experiences, the more money they will pay up front. So, or offer really quick. This is one of the main things I want to cover. So, this is very important to nail down. This should be the outcome of what your client desires, right? This will usually be a specific outcome. It's also important to note that the outcome will dictate the level of customer you get. So, for example, if I say I help roofers get one roof per month versus 10 to 15 roofs, which outcome do you think will get a higher level avatar? Of course, it's the outcome that yields a bigger result. So, what's important to understand is yes, you might be scared of delivery and things like that, but you have to trust in the process and make sure that you obviously can deliver. You have to deliver for your clients. You want to think of the outcome of who your ideal client is. All right. So my ideal client is a roofing company that's doing anywhere from $100,000 plus a month. All right. If I just tell them I'm going to get one roof, that's not going to move the needle. 10 to 15 roofs is essentially doubling their business. Right. So if I can offer a company that's doing seven figures to double their business, then they're obviously going to be way more stoked about that. But this also means that a lot of the roofers below that threshold, because this is still going to attract people who are below that threshold of seven figures. This will still get roofers doing $500,000 a year. It's going to deflect a lot of like the roofing companies that can't take this on, right? Like a company with like one or two roofers aren't going to be able to service 10 to 15 roofs a month. So it'll deflect a lot of the lower tier avatars as well in your niche that you probably don't want to work with, who can't afford your services anyhow. But if you go with a smaller result, you're never going to reach the ideal client that you really, really want. So your overall promise should be based off your ideal client and their desires. So here's the structure to create your overall promise, right? This is your core, the core of your offer. All right. Having your overall promise is essentially what the cliff notes are of your offer. So for example, the offer should be very simple, right? I help niche achieve result in time frame with unique mechanism. I help roofers generate 15 to 20 roof replacements every 30 days Blackhawk Roof AI system. All right, so that's an example. Obviously, I made that up. That's a little bit more um how do you call it, like more copyright, or you might like a lot more fancy. Okay, you can also go a lot simpler as well, right? So you can also say, I help roofers generate 15 to 20 roof replacements every 30 days using commercial style ads and AI appointment setters. That works too. So what I want you to do is create your overall promise now, because you can't create anything else in your offer unless you know what your overall promise is. So spend a few minutes, spend as much time as you need creating your overall promise, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, we are back. So now you should have your overall promise done. The overall promise, you can kind of think of it as the overarching piece of your offer, and everything that comes after in terms of what we're going to build now supports your overall promise. Okay. So here is a example of a consulting offer, a marketing consulting offer. Okay, so there's generally with most service companies, there's typically three pillars, right? Usually it's going to be lead generation, an AI appointment setter, and consulting. This is a very, very strong offer. You can feel free to run with it if you want. but you also still have to customize it and make it your own, right? Depending on the niche that you're in, your branding, all that good stuff. But the point of what I'm trying to say is you can see how all these things help achieve the overall promise. Okay, so let's talk about the overall promise here. We'll use the roofing example. So I help roofers generate 15 to 20 roof replacements every 30 days using commercial style ads and appointment setters. So for here, lead generation, that is the first pillar, because in order for them to hit 15 to 20 roofs, they need leads coming in. Okay. Naturally, after you get leads for a company, this is where most marketing agencies mess up. They don't do anything after this. They just give the leads to a company and hope the company is going to call the leads and follow up and do all this stuff. They never do. And then they end up getting screwed over and the roofers cancel the contract, right? The business owners cancel the contract. So it's important that we have the next piece, right? So now we have leads. Now we need to turn those leads into appointments. So naturally, the easiest thing you can offer is an AI appointment setter who will book all the leads. They work 24/7, right? So we'll go into some of the positioning and stuff like that a little later, but we need to come up with 3 pillars, okay? So the last pillar is consulting. I love consulting as a pillar because generally after you start to scale up a company, every company runs into different problems. Okay. So I love to do one-to-one consulting with my clients, right? Where we build them custom solutions as needed. And this has been a big part of why my offers have always done so well, because I always have consulting as a pillar, because consulting is the customized piece of the offer. Every time we can install lead generation into a company. We can install an AI appointment setter. We know how to get these businesses fantastic results and just set them a ton of appointments. So either the company is going to be very, very good at sales and we don't have to worry and things are great. Then they're going to close so many deals that they end up needing to hire more people. So maybe I can help them using a hiring funnel, right? And these are things you're going to start to build and things like that. If you're very new and you're like, I don't even know how to do this, don't worry. We're going to show you everything that you need. But there's a lot of different things that you can help with. Simple stuff like database reactivation, which I'll teach you guys how to do as well. Those things are really easy. You could do database reactivation with an AI appointment setter. And for those who don't know what database reactivation is, this is just sending an offer to their old lead list that's just collecting dust there that they haven't spoken to in a long time, right? And having the AI appointment setter reach out to all these dead leads. So these are some different pillars that you can start to build, but it needs to be logical so they can easily understand how they can achieve the result you promised. Okay. So this makes a lot of logical sense when it's lead generation, an AI appointment setter, and then we consult you on anything after that you need help with, whether that's hiring funnels, the sales process, whatever it is. And with AI, a lot of this stuff you can solve. It's absolutely insane with what AI you can do, because like there's so many different things that you can come up with. So that's it for the pillars. Then we need to package the offer. So go ahead, pause the video right now. I'm going to dive into packaging your offer as well. So this is where you want to think about how you're presenting and positioning your offer. Okay. So you actually need to make it sound unique. And again, this goes back to what we spoke about earlier when it comes to how you present the offer. Okay. Like if you present it poorly, don't expect great results. But if you actually present it in a way where they can actually see what they're going to get, you're going to have a much easier time selling your offer. So this is where you want to think about how you're actually positioning it to your client. So let's take the above, right? There's lead generation, an AI appointment setter, and consulting. Although this sounds decent, it's pretty boring and doesn't really sound like anything new. Like especially lead generation, like that's one of the things that marketing agencies all offer. So how do you make it sound better? So we need to position it and make the naming convention sound better. So for example, number 1, instead of lead generation system, it's your roof AI lead gen system. okay, where we're going to build out commercial style done for you ads. Okay, we're going to give you done for you proven ad scripts that we've actually spent money on that are actually proven to ROI. We're going to give you data back campaigns from all the ads that I've been running. Okay, we're going to give you a done for you offer creation session, and we'll help you generate 50 to 100 roof replacement leads. That's just for the lead gen. That's just for pillar 1. Okay, so the other thing too is that each pillar breaks down into almost like mini pillars, right? These are all pillars of how they're going to get a proper lead gen system. So you think about it in a way that you can break it up. So one of the clients in my mastermind, who's an agency owner, he scaled his roofing agency basically from like 2 clients to now he's doing 60K a month. So the cool thing is that he actually found a way to hire videographers in that area, and he just sends videographers out. He writes up the ad scripts, which are now almost always the same because he knows exactly what works. He's got data back campaigns because he essentially runs only roofing companies, so he knows exactly what campaigns will work and what doesn't work. And then he has the offer creation down. The thing is that this is why you niche down, because a lot of this stuff is just going to be templated and reused. Like your offer creation is typically going to be whatever winning offers that you've already helped these businesses do, right? So for example, in this agency owner's case, he already knows what offers convert for roofing clients. So the offer creation is really easy. He just tells them this is what's been working. Okay. Same thing with ad scripts. He has to build this once and he can reuse them over and over and over again. So this is where the leverage piece comes in. Now, instead of calling it an AI appointment setter, we call it the Roof AI agent. Okay, so this is a 24/7 appointment setter that never sleeps. It helps you save on employee costs. Instead of paying a receptionist $60,000 a year to call, well, you can just have an appointment setter that's AI based, that never calls in sick, never gets mad, never shows up late, works 24/7, and never complains. Okay, 5-second speed to lead. They're calling the leads. They're messaging the leads within 5 seconds. Automated scheduling / rescheduling. You don't have to worry about that. AI takes care of that. Automated follow-ups. Okay, this is where all appointment setters drop the ball. AI does not drop the ball. It always follows up. Okay, it's fully conversational. It's not some scripted BS. It actually has a conversation, allowing you to keep your brand very, very, very well regarded. 80% lead to estimate conversion rate. So notice also what I do is I typically, on my last pillar, sub pillar, if you will, I always have a result attached to it, right? Generate 50 to 100 roof replacement leads, 80% lead to estimate conversion rate. So the final pillar is bonuses and consulting. So this is done for you reactivation campaigns, sales consulting, done for you sales reps, right? We can toss a Facebook ad up and basically hire sales reps in that area. We'll help them with their organic marketing, right? Helping them make their profiles look nice. Whatever else you can add in as a bonus, right? Monthly, you can do monthly one-to-ones, bi-weekly one-to-ones, whatever you want. I like to call them consulting sessions if you're going to be doing that, because consulting sessions are actually way more productive than like check-ins, because it's like when you check in with someone, you're just giving them a few numbers and it's non-productive. Whenever I go into consulting session, it's like, what problems are we solving? That's what consulting is. So you have to think about it kind of in what you can offer, right? And if you're more of a beginner and you don't really know what to offer, start with reactivation campaigns. Sales consulting, this is the thing that people really need to understand, is that when it comes to sales consulting, like there's literally so many things on sales. You can use ChatGPT to pick their brain on how you can build out like a sales framework and things like that. There's so many things that you can do to create solutions. So you need to start thinking in a way where you're actually a problem solver. How can you problem solve the pain points in your client's business? Because if you can create more solutions, your offer is just going to be so much stronger. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Lastly, I want to dive into some pricing. So if you're running an AI offer like this and you're basically going to take the offer I just gave you and kind of make it your own, well, basically you can charge anywhere from 6 to 10K kind of as a 3-month package. All right. I like to do a couple different things in terms of pricing models, but what you want to understand, especially if you're a beginner or you don't really have that much experience, start with what you're comfortable with. Right? Start more than what you're probably charging because this is going to be a much better offer, but start with what you're comfortable with. Whether if that's $5,000 for 3 months, do that. That's totally fine. And you can build up from there. I have a ton of agency owners in my mastermind that I work one-to-one with. Some of them started off at 5,000 to 6,000 and now are charging 10,000, right? We have Savannah. She just closed a $20,000 paid in full deal. So charge whatever you want. But make sure that one, it aligns with the market, and also make sure that it's competitive, right? So obviously we don't want to just charge like 50,000 for no reason. You have to have the value to back that up. It needs to ROI. Okay. So the reason why this makes sense in a lot of niches is that if you charge someone 10K, they need to be able to make that back very, very quickly. Okay. Definitely well within the 3 months. I usually like to ROI my clients by month 1 or sooner. Okay. And that is very, very doable if you choose the right niche. Obviously, when we talked about the example of like restaurants, that may not happen, right? But if you're talking about high ticket niches, that can happen in a matter of 1 or 2 deals. So start with what you're comfortable with and increase prices as needed. My recommendation, if you're running an offer like this, 6K for 3 months is very fair. So usually we do a 3-month package. So for example, it's $8,000 for 3 months if you pay in full, or $3,000 per month. Okay, so basically you want to incentivize someone if they pay in full versus if they split it up. And yes, with agencies, you can do pay in full offers. I do pay in fulls all the time. My mastermind clients, a lot of them do pay in fulls. In fact, most companies love to pay in full, okay, because they love to get a deal and save some money. You get more cash flow up front. And then what you can do is put them on a retainer after. So for example, if you charge $8,000 for 3 months, then it's just $3K a month after, right? Or they can renew at the $8,000 and get another pay in full. So that's how you would do that. So you've built your offer, the promise, the positioning, the pillars. But here's the truth. An offer only lives or dies when it hits the real world, because clients don't pay you for ideas, they pay you for results. In this next training, I'm gonna pull back the curtain and show you how my agency took a brand new AI offer from $0 to $82,000 per month in 34 days. This isn't about hacks or theories. It's about building a business that stops chewing up your nights and weekends, ends the client churn for good, and gives you predictable cash flow you can actually scale without burning out. So first and foremost, I want to show proof that we actually did this. So this is one of my Stripe accounts. We have 2 Stripe accounts that we run payments through. So I'll show you the first one here. We did about $56,000, $573 in this one. Let me walk you through this other Stripe account and refresh this page. So it's refreshing here. So you can see we did $25,643 in this Stripe account. So when you tally that up, it's about $82,000. So brand new offer, launched this particular offer 34 days ago with this new ad account and new ad campaign that I'm going to be walking you through and showing how easy it is when you know the fundamentals. So I just want to show you my website here, right? So this is my marketing agency website. I really enjoy working in the home service space, which is one of the niches I really enjoy. But basically what I'm going to show you today, you can basically apply this to any particular niche or whatever industry that your marketing agency is in. Okay. I'm going to show you how I generate my ads using AI, how I scale up my ad campaigns. I'm going to show you how I actually convert those leads into appointments and kind of our sales process. So you're going to have my whole infrastructure here on how I'm able to actually scale up. So with that being said, let's dive right into it. So I'm going to walk you through all this stuff. The first thing I want to cover is niches. All right. It's important that you have a niche. Okay. Part of the reason why this offer is scaling up quick is because it's very specific to landscape and outdoor living companies, which basically, if you don't know much about those businesses, any beautiful backyards that you see, pool builds and stuff like that, amazing decks, right? That kind of stuff. That's typically kind of the clientele I work with, and I generate them leads and appointments to get those types of projects. Now we have people in my
marketing agency mastermind that work with people in the health and wellness space. So this could be med spas, chiros, things like that. We have people working in the B2B enterprise space. We have people working in the real estate space. Okay, so you can pick any sort of niche. My kind of criteria for picking a niche is to ensure that one, they have a high ticket product that they're selling. The reason why is it's significantly easier to scale them up, right? Because their ROIs come in really, really quick. So when they have a big job and you're spending money on ads and things like that, or they have big project size, or they just have a high ticket price point, it doesn't take a lot to get them a crazy ROI. So it's just important to kind of keep that in mind, which is kind of my main criteria. Other than that, you just want to make sure it's not like overly niche down where there's not a lot of these businesses, because that can, kind of stunt your ability to scale, right? If it's like a unique business with only 10 businesses in the world, you basically have to get at least half of them to make any sort of serious money with your agency. So also make sure that there's just a lot of those businesses, at least, 20, 30,000, if not like more than 50,000 of those types of businesses. So with that being said, let's dive into how we actually acquire clients for my marketing agency. So we use meta ads. I really, really like meta ads. They're quick and easy to set up. They're not overly technical, and you can get a campaign live very, very quick. So generally, as a starting point, you need to be spending like as a bare minimum, like $30 a day on meta ads. We spend a little bit more, of course, but your budget is totally up to you. But I would say as a bare minimum, you kind of need to be spending $30 a day. If you don't have the budget for ads yet, then you have to do outreach and things like that to land your first client and then reinvest that money back into ads. All right. So the creative is basically the actual video that you're going to be running as the ad. Now, what allowed us to scale up quick is because we were able to test a lot of different ads very quickly, because we use a software called HeyGen. And HeyGen allows you to basically create and use AI avatars to create AI ad creatives. And it's not very expensive. I think it's like 30 or $40 a month. And it allows you to find any sort of avatar that you're looking for. So I'll actually walk you through HeyGen. But it's super simple, because all you have to do is plug and play an ad script, and you can basically have a video within a few minutes, which is really cool. Then once we find winners, we actually hire UGC actors to actually film the winners, right? So that way we can scale up with kind of just like higher quality ad creatives. Like AI is good. They're really, really high quality, but in certain cases you can still kind of tell it's AI. So we like to just scale using real actors, right? UGC actors. And it's not super expensive either. It's like $50, to get a few creatives, from these actors. And when you have a winner and you're seeing an ROI, this is a really good way just to get some really high quality creatives, because they're generally going to use a really nice camera. They're going to have a nice background. And also they're just going to deliver significantly better on an ad creative than I can. So generally the results are really, really good. So let's jump into HeyGen real quick. And I guess before we do, let me show you what actually has been our winning script. All right. So this is the script that we use. Okay. We have a really strong offer at the top. So what if we guaranteed your heartscaping business $100,000 in new revenue over the next 120 days, where you don't pay us a dime, right? We're not your average ad agency. We're a revenue growth partner built specifically for outdoor living businesses. Okay. Our Hardscape OS system combines targeted ad strategies that connect with high intent homeowners in your area with an AI powered chatbot that instantly responds to leads, qualifies them, and books them straight into your calendar. We use personal edited videos that showcase you, your team, your story, and the incredible work you've done. This builds trust fast and makes your ad stand out. And we target the right people by zip code, age, interest, and behavior. So your message hits only the homeowners most likely to buy. It's a done for you system that delivers real results, not just clicks. Let's bring in 100K for your business fast. Book your free strategy call now. So super, super easy. So let's actually copy this script, which is also created using ChatGPT, right? AI makes things so much easier. So we can jump into HeyGen here, and it's super easy. Like you can see all the different types of avatars in here that you can choose from. Like there's literally so many that you can choose from. So all you want to do is click create a video, avatar video. I use portrait, right? So then you can just start to look through and see who might be a good avatar, right? And if you click into one of the avatars, you can see there's different angles. They're wearing different things. So you can start to pick like who might be a good fit. So let's see if I type in landscaper, see if I can find anything. Might have to be a little bit more broad. But honestly, we tend to just use like people who are kind of in a normal setting. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, right? So if you just use someone in a normal setting, generally it performs well. And again, you have to remember we're just testing here, right? So this is a premium one, which means you have to pay a little bit more. So once you find your avatar, we go to, you obviously click the avatar, then you go to script. And then what we can do is paste that script in, right? And then we can play. So it takes a minute to load. And once it loads, it's basically just going to read the script.
What if we guaranteed your hardscaping business $100,000 in new revenue over the next 100?
So you can hear it's a bit of a British accent. So let's change the accent to an English one. I'm on a different account right now, but you can basically change, the accent to whatever you want. And then basically from there, you're able to create these ads in here, right? So I'll let you play around with that. That's a quick 2-minute tutorial. I want to keep this video as concise as possible, but basically I'll show you a finished version of an ad that we created. So
now, how exactly did they do it? Let me bring you through the exact process we set up for them with our customized AI assistant, Ava. First, the lead gets sent the first message, and if they respond, they get sent down our qualifying route. And if they don't, we set in place a series of follow-ups to encourage a response back. Once they reply, that gets sent over to Ava, who is already trained on their business, sales process, and how they need to qualify leads. So Ava analyzes the response and sends it back to their CRM so that the client can see the conversation in real time. And then it continues going in this loop until the prospect is qualified for an appointment. Only once qualified, Ava then conversationally schedules them into their calendar. So now you show up with a stacked calendar day after day without lifting a finger.
you can see here, this lady is pure AI, and then we just layered some B-roll on the back of it. But that's how good you can get these videos, right? And then obviously once you have a winner, then we can go to backstage, right? I'll show you backstage, and then you can find a bunch of talent in here, right? So you can message them and start to figure out who ideally would be a good avatar, who would be a really good spokesperson, UGC creator, whatever it is for your creative. All right. And then you can message them and basically have them read your winning ads. So that's pretty much it for the ad side. Super simple. Then it becomes converting, because this is going to start to generate you a bunch of leads, right? But leads don't matter. Okay, leads are only going to get you so far. So we need to convert those leads into actual appointments, so that way you can pitch them your offer, do a sales call with them, and close them. All right, so this is the conversion mechanism. So we run meta ads. From there, we actually run them to a very simple lead form. We want to collect their name, their phone number, and their email. And the reason why we want to collect their name, phone numbers, and email is so that way we can start to reach out to them. There's going to be a segment of buyers who are ready to buy from you right then and there based on them hearing the offer. Then there's going to be a segment of buyers who need some nurturing. They might need a couple weeks, a couple months, right? But this is why it starts to compound long term. Okay, so the first thing, right, is they're going to enter in their information. Now, two things will happen. Off the back of entering their information, they're going to get sent to this page. All right. This page is a very simple video basically outlining the offer. All right. And the goal is to basically get them to a booking page. Now, if they watch the video and they move towards the booking page, then ideally we want them to book a call directly. All right. Now, that doesn't always happen. Ideally, this would happen very linearly, where they enter in their info, they watch the video, they book a call. Now, this works. This alone works. However, you can double your output and double the number of booked calls you have by actually implementing these sequences. So once someone opts in, we get them into our appointment setting sequence. Okay. So I have a human caller as well. I also have an SMS appointment setter. We call her Ava. Okay. And then we also have an email sequence that basically nurtures them over time. So the first thing that happens as soon as someone enters in their information is Ava is going to send them an immediate SMS text message. They're going to try to reach out to them and basically qualify and set them on an appointment through text message. All right. This works really well in my particular industry because a lot of the time these contractors and landscapers are just on their phone. They text a lot. A lot of the time they don't have time to actually talk on the phone, so they prefer texting. Okay, so this works really, really well. They get an immediate text message and ideally they set an appointment through that. Now, let's say they don't respond. Well, then Ava will follow up and they'll follow up in an hour. Let's say they don't respond to that. They follow up in 3 hours, right? And then 24 hours, 48 hours, and so on and so forth. But again, their goal is to push them to this booking page so that way they can book a call. All right, very, very simple. So let's say they don't respond. What we're also going to do in the time that we're waiting for the follow-up is we're going to have a human caller. All right, there's AI human callers and stuff like that. Works decent, but for me, I like having a human appointment setter. Obviously, this is talking more from a leveraged approach. I'm in a really awesome position where I'm able to hire and have people do this. At the beginning, you're going to be doing this yourself. Okay. So you'll have a human caller or yourself. And I like to wait a few minutes, right? Wait 7 minutes, let Ava work a little bit. And if Ava books them, fantastic. But if not, then we call them, all right? And we just have a quick conversation with them. And we're going to pick up the people who are actually wanting a call. Some people prefer SMS, but also we have vice versa. Some people prefer being called and having a conversation as well. So then we get to basically set them, have a quick conversation with them, even qualify them really quick to see if they're actually a good fit for our offer. Because, we don't work with solopreneurs, right? We actually work with established businesses. So if they're a solopreneur, we won't set them on a call. But if they're an established business, then absolutely we're going to set them up on a call. So if not, then we're going to do a quick 2-hour follow-up. We do a call and a text just to have the human setter text them real quick and say, hey, my name is Nick. I just tried to give you a quick call. Let me know if you have any time to chat for 5 minutes. Very simple. All right. Let's say they don't answer your call or text. Then basically you can follow up again in 24 hours. and call again in 48 hours. And then what we also do is a database reactivation campaign once a month. And this, the last time we did this, we printed calls. So many people booked a call, right? So once a month, a database reactivation is basically just reaching out. We do this as a full blast, right? We blast our whole campaign or our whole lead list and basically say, hey, you inquired about this offer about a month ago. I just wanted to check in to see if you're still interested. And if so, let's have a quick conversation, right? And then we push them back to this booking call, right? And then they schedule their appointment. Super easy. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, this is like pretty overkill. And it is. And that's the whole point. We paid for this lead. We spent good money on this lead. We want to be able to set that appointment. All right. And it's all about the inputs. Now, obviously, some people are going to opt out right away. But in my experience, the people who are motivated, they respond really well to this. And these are the people who are actually going to close and be a really good fit for your offer. Now, the other thing that we do as well, because some people just won't respond to any of this, we want a bit of a long-term nurture sequence. So we do that through emails. Okay. So we have a 7-day email sequence right out the gate. All right. This sequence automatically sends every single day, and it's a structured email sequence, right? Consists of case studies and things like that basically pushes them back to a call. And then also after this 7-day email sequence is done, then what we do is we send 3 emails per week. So these are written emails that we write up that week that we send out. Okay. So it's kind of like an ongoing process. And this is like always pushing back again to booking an appointment. The whole point of this, right? The whole point of generating a lead is not just to generate a lead for the fun of it, but it's to actually convert them into an appointment. So that way they can hop on a call with you where you can pitch your offer, handle any objections, and close them. All right. So very, very simple. Now I want to take you through this funnel really quick as well, just to show you. So this is the exact page. It's a video. It's nothing too crazy, right? And then the booking page as well. So again, like we keep it simple. And the reason why we keep it simple is because when people land on these pages, the only thing I want them to be able to do is to book a call, right? Not to click around. Like there's nowhere to click around. The only thing you can do is book a call. All right. So that's really as simple as it gets. Okay. It's a very simple funnel. We use Go High Level to build out these landing pages. I'm not going to go into that today because it's there's a ton of videos on how to do that and things like that. So that's how we start to set appointments. And then what we like to do after they actually booked a call is we take them through our pre-call framework. All right. So your hard work is not done once they book a call. Ideally, they would all show up, but the true reality is that a lot of these business owners are busy and they'll book an appointment. It's not their intention not to show up, but sometimes life happens, business happens, things come up in their day and they just don't show up. So I would say a good ideal pre-call framework is going to bring your show rates to roughly 65%, if not slightly higher. But generally, in my experience of running ads, we're generally in that 65-70% show rate. So the pre-call framework, as soon as they book a call, we send them to this page. So we say your call's not confirmed. We have a few videos that they need to actually watch in order to confirm their call. So the thank you page is there because we want to basically slightly pre-sell them, handle some objections, give them some insights on our offer so it creates curiosity. That way they come to the call pre-sold, right? If you can bring someone to your call pre-sold, that's ideal. So very simple. There's 3 videos on the thank you page. Video 1 is like a 2-minute video that sets expectations plus ensures that they confirm the call. So all it is saying, hey, show up on the Zoom link on time, show up with notes, show up with a pen pad so you can take some notes, and then basically confirm your call by checking your email, right? Very simple. Then we have a video that just goes over the offer, high level overview of the offer. This is some of the stuff and that we do. These are some of the results and things like that. Enough to create curiosity so they're more likely to show up onto the call. And then a case study with a client, which is just a testimonial video. So super simple. Let me show you the actual thank you page here. So you can see here the video, right? It's like 1 minute and 30 seconds, 2 minutes long. We have another video just to basically walk them through the offer, show them some proof. And then the case study video where we're basically actually interviewing one of our clients. All right. And then some real-time results. All right. So super, super simple. Again, the whole point of keeping this simple is that they have to watch these videos sequentially. Now, the thing is if they watch all of the 3 of these videos, and they see these results, they're coming into the call extremely pre-sold, which is what we want. We don't want to be fighting for their trust or anything like that when they get to the call. We want them to be pre-sold. So that's the thank you page once they get to there. And then we also have a confirmation sequence. All right. So there's 3 different methods of confirming. And we really, really need to implement this stuff because this brings up our show rate significantly. All right. So we have a closer. You're probably going to be the closer, right? In your case. But for me, I have a closer. And then we have an SMS that confirms and sends them the Zoom link. And then we have an email as well. So super simple. So the first thing that happens when the confirmation sequence is initiated, which is essentially when they book a call, is that they get an SMS. So basically they're going to get an SMS right away that confirms and says, hey, this is the time you booked for, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and sends them the Zoom link. 24 hours before the call, they're going to get the Zoom link again, just to reiterate their time. So that way they don't forget. And then another reminder 15 minutes before the call. Now, on the back of that, we're also going to have the closer manually confirm the call. So they're going to send an SMS immediately as well and say, hey, my name is Nick. I'm going to be the one hopping on a call with you. I'm super, super excited to do so. And this is the time. Just want to confirm you're 100% able to make that. Okay. They're going to respond yes. And then fantastic. And then the day of the actual appointment, it's a quick little reminder as well. And then as well, we're going to send them a quick email that just confirms their appointment, and then also sends them the case study / back to the thank you page, because it's really important that they actually watch the thank you page videos, because that's again going to get them significantly more pre-sold. This is how you actually close a high percentage of your leads. All right. Now, with that being said, let's jump into the sales process a little bit. So once you get the appointment booked, the appointment is confirmed, then it just becomes a sales game. All right. So the show rate, like I said, should be roughly around 65%, if not higher. If it's higher, fantastic. But this is kind of the bare minimum that you're shooting for. Now, if they show, then we want to make sure that we ensure the decision makers are on the call, plus that they actually watch the pre-call training. If either of these are a no, we just reschedule it, because it's just going to be a really tough sale and you're going to have to push pretty hard and things like that. Okay. If they are, and they've watched the pre-call and the decision makers are there, you can take the call and essentially one call close it. All right. Now, let's say they haven't showed up for 3 minutes. Well, then from there, you want to dial 2 times, send them a text message, see if they're going to show. If they do, fantastic. Run this sequence and take the call and close. If they don't show, then and put them in a no-show sequence, right? Basically, for me, that's just having the appointment setter call and reschedule the appointment. Obviously, that's going to be you. So you can call the next day and keep calling and calling and calling until they get back on your calendar. All right, so that's pretty much it. And this is the entire framework. Okay, so I just want to recap real quick. We run Facebook ads, Facebook and Instagram ads on the Meta platform. This is the exact ad script that we use. Okay, we use AI to test a bunch of ad creatives. Then we take those winning ad creatives and basically use real UGC creators to actually film those ads and make them even more high quality. Then from there, we implement our conversion mechanism where we have an appointment setter, an AI appointment setter, and our email sequence booking appointments. Then from there, we send them to our pre-call framework to pre-sell the prospect. So that way they show up extremely pre-sold. And then we run our sales sequence. And that's basically the simple for infrastructure that I used to basically take this brand new offer to 82 grand a month, right? I might scale it, I might not. We'll see where it goes. I will keep you guys updated, but at the very least, you guys can implement this exact infrastructure to be able to scale up your own marketing agency.
All right, so you've seen how we built an AI offer, launched ads, and scaled to $82,000 in 34 days. But let's be real, this is where most agency owners fall off, because knowing how to build the machine is one thing, but knowing how to turn that machine into actual revenue is another. The truth is, every system, every ad, every funnel you've seen so far, it all leads to this moment. Sitting across from a business owner and having a conversation that moves them from curious to client is a whole different story. In the next video, you'll watch me and my business partner close a $10,000 deal live. No scripts, no second takes, just a real live sales call where we turn a lead into revenue. If you had to focus on one thing, it would be the skill you'll learn from watching this next video, because this is where your skills get tested in the real world.
My partner, Nick, I'm not sure if you're able to see on the smaller phone screen.
I saw him on the computer though.
Nice to meet you, Debbie.
There you are. Hi, nice meeting you.
Likewise. Yeah, so usually with these calls, pretty straightforward. We just kind of like to get an overview about your business, everything you offer in terms of your services and what you're currently doing for marketing. And then we can walk you through our system, see if it makes sense for you, and can kind of go from there.
Okay. Background wise, I've been in business for over 30 years. High-end designer for Christmas and Halloween. I also do lighting. I've done landscape lighting, and I just launched, which is going to be a subdivision of Magical Holiday Designs. And as far as marketing, I use Logical Positions. I've been with them for years. They handle all my Google ads and my pay-per-clicks and all that. I don't and haven't done Instagram and Facebook because I've done so well doing the logical positions way through their program that I didn't need it. And so now I'm looking to do that, I believe, through, I think logical positions will probably still handle my Google ads, but I wanted to see what you guys had to offer. It looked very interesting, very lucrative, in getting clients through social media. I think that's the ad that I responded to, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So with that being said, is low voltage lighting. Plus, I also do, I'm a dealer for them, and that's where the lights are on the roof line and they change color according to the season of the design, whatever. That wasn't my intent originally, but I thought, I could either add that to, or I could include that in. So including in seemed to make more sense.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Got it. And are you looking to grow mostly are you looking to promote mostly permanent roof line or the landscape lighting, or both? Kind of all.
Both. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Is way more than I could even handle. I'm a luxury designer for very high-end homes. I've also been invited to decorate at the warehouse. I'm in the top probably 50 designers in the United States.
Oh, wow.
So I've worked hard for 30 years, and I really don't need to promote that, but I'm going to make a little bit of a turn, and I need that to be very lucrative.
Understood. Okay. Got it. What is the ideal amount of leads slash appointments slash jobs are you looking to generate per month?
Good question. I don't know what would sound reasonable. 20?
Okay.
Like, I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
what would, I mean, does that sound, what do people say? They have to say more than one or two, but I think 100, no, they couldn't handle it, right? So I
Yeah,
don't know,
totally.
somewhere in the middle.
Depends on your capacity for sure, and how many, projects you can handle at any given time with your team and everything. And also kind of depends on what your marketing budget is, because like Google, same thing with, I'm not sure if you're doing PPC or SEO, but it's really dependent on what you put into the ad. So obviously, if you're spending more, you can generate more. But I guess let's start with like, what's your average job size?
Okay, so
Because that's what we'll mostly be pushing, right?
yes, I
Yeah.
would say, well, the low end would be 5,000, and
Okay.
the high end is somewhere around 50.
Okay.
Unless it's corporate, and then of course, if it's corporate, it's going to be more. And yes, I do corporate accounts too, but I would say somewhere between 5 and 50.
Okay. Pretty big range. And what's the revenue goal that you're trying to hit monthly?
I would say I would like to do at least 100K a
Okay.
month.
100K. Let's be conservative with the average job size. Call it, 10K. If you happen to land a 50K, that's even better. But, for us to do our numbers, and that's, 10 projects, a month that you're looking to scale to, and then it just becomes reverse engineering, close rates and appointments set and things like that.
Correct.
And of course leads. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely reasonable. You definitely just have to put the ad spend in to basically generate the number of leads to get the number of opportunities to sell that. But I would say yes, that's reasonable.
Okay, what would that ad spend be?
Well, generally we aim, because we like to qualify and really focus on high quality leads. We're generally aiming on the low end of $30 a lead to 55, $60 a lead. And it can range. Also depending on which season we're in, because obviously in Q3, Q4, if we're pushing permanent roofline for you guys, then you're going to generate really, really high ROIs and lower cost per leads in that season.
Perfect.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then right now, when permanent roof line's not super hot, then we will push the landscape lighting.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I reached out to, I'm a contractor through Thumbtack, and I've been very successful with them, but it's been very expensive. And so when I told them I was thinking about doing the landscape lighting and focusing on that, they were telling me that my leads were going to be about $250 a piece.
Oh, wow. That's expensive.
Yeah. I said, you know what? I don't think, I mean, if I got $250 per lead to spend, then I'll go with logical positions and tell them, you know what I mean? I already know they can get me number one on the first page, but for that amount of money, it just doesn't make sense. I don't know. Maybe the guy didn't know what he was talking about, but I thought that was outrageous. So when you're telling me 30, 30, 55, $60 a lead, I'm comfortable with that.
Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I know. I've been in the home service space for like 8 years now. I haven't heard of Thumbtack in a while, because I think they were, or no, it was Home Advisor that got acquired by Angie's. But either way, I think most of those leads, when you're paying for them, aren't even exclusive unless they change that.
They are not.
Yeah. So it's yeah, so that's tough. So the nice thing is, when we generate your leads, it's all under your brand. We build the system, under everything branded by you. And then we also like to promote not just your business, but you as the business owner. So kind of from the personal standpoint as well, works really, really well, because it builds up the brand presence in your space as well.
Okay, that's cool. I just did a little bio for.
Awesome. Okay, cool. I think what makes sense is we'll show you some of our results, kind of our system and everything. And then, yeah, you can let us know what your thoughts are. We can answer any questions. You're on mute, Ben.
I saw that. I had a question for you, Debbie. What areas do you service?
Well, I promote, so it's. I think I'm probably going to have to scale it back. Here's the problem: is because I have a huge celebrity clientele. I go to. Nobody out here in the Inland Empire has got that kind of money, if you know what I mean. Are you familiar? You're not in California. Are you familiar with Southern Cal?
Yep, we've done some business in there outside of outdoor lighting.
Okay. So, Orange County, some very high-end clients. LA County, very high-end in some of the nicer areas of LA, of course. Calabasas, Hidden Hills, stuff like that. It's far from where my general location is, but in the Inland Empire, that there is people that have the luxury budget and they're out in the desert. So I do service those areas and have a lot of clients out there. So that was another major question I had for you guys. I don't know where to focus, if it's more money for a bigger area. Like, what's your thoughts?
No, I mean, our fee is sound no matter how large your area is, or if you spend, 10K in ad spend or 1,000 in ad spend, our fee remains the same. And then something to note is that we're exclusive, and Nick basically touched on this, is that we're exclusive to the companies that we work with, in the case that we would never pick up another outdoor lighting company in your area, because then ultimately we would be competing against ourselves, and that's unfair for both parties.
What area do you have available?
We have available. We don't have any current SoCal clients in outdoor lighting.
Oh, well, how magical is that?
No, very magical.
Also, real quick, if you want to close $10,000 deals like this and have the exact same system that's producing my agency 5 to 10 new clients per month, book a call with me and we'll install the same system into your agency that I'm using.
So I had a question actually regarding your website. Was it recently built?
Okay, they're working on it right now. .com is active, and that's the one that I was going to put the permanent lighting on. Lighting is the one they're working on right now, and that's going to be by itself.
Okay.
I'm thinking. I'm not sure. I got to really think about this, but I don't know whether to combine the two. I did a little research on some of the other landscape lighting companies, and they are offering that also on their website. So maybe I'll offer it on both.
Yeah, I think it could be worth having a separate website um, for it, but I was just looking at it. Um, website builds is something that we do. We've built plenty in the outdoor lighting space. I just wanted to bring it to light because I saw some things like you can see my screen, right?
Yep.
I just saw like, the footer here, it still had like the default and your emails, hello at website. It says you were
Are
in
they live?
Yeah, this is live.
Oh, they weren't supposed to go live yet. Okay.
Your
Well,
phone number, and I saw some misspellings and you guys are doing permanent, not permanent. I was trying
yeah,
to,
no, they weren't supposed to
I
go
figured it
live
was
yet. That's funny.
under still being built out because you didn't have a portfolio yet, or your resources were still in test mode.
Yeah.
So yeah, just thought I'd let you know. The
Yeah.
design is good,
Funny.
just needs some cleaning up. And then,
Yeah.
but
No, they
I
got
asked mainly because I was like, where do you service? I'm like, I didn't know if you were nationwide or something because I saw Texas, Florida, Colorado, California. Must just be the template that they were using.
yeah.
The reviews are for solar panel installations. I don't think that's something you do, right?
No.
No worries. Just thought I'd bring that to light. So I will go ahead though and walk you through what our full process is, if that's all right.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. So I'll give you a bird's eye view. Basically, what we do is that we run all of your advertisements, we do all of your lead generation, but also once a lead comes in, we reach out to the lead right away, we qualify it, and we schedule it into your calendar. That is our full-fledged program. If you want to talk about what our price point is, where it's just a lead generation, we're not doing the outreach, the qualifying, the appointment setting, we can talk about that at the very end.
Okay.
But following this diagram here, again, our process number one, generating all the leads for you through Facebook and Instagram advertisements. As I mentioned, once a lead comes in, it immediately gets sent to Ava. It is what we call our AI virtual assistant. So within a minute, Ava will send out that first message saying, hey, this is Debbie with, thank you for filling out our form. Am I speaking with Ben? And then upon each response, Ava asks a set of questions of your choosing. So if we're already honed in on landscape lighting, then it'd be like, great, how soon are you looking to get your lights installed? What's your approximate budget? And then moving into the scheduling aspect. So once properly qualified, Ava talks through open days and times on your calendar to schedule an appointment. We use the CRM Go High Level. That is where the bot is built, and that is where the conversations are held, not necessarily what the bot is built, but integrated. So we can easily integrate with your business calendar. So obviously we're pulling appropriate days and times, but we're also able to send any lead and appointment booking information out to your CRM. But Ava will book the appointment into your calendar. We'll alert you of the new booking. So all you have to do is confirm beforehand, show up on time, and of course, close the job. This works for phone calls. Phone calls are very popular where, the business owner wants the lead fully qualified, but then we're just booking a phone call, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it might be, so then they could reach out to them at a specific time, maybe do some further qualifying, and then book them into the calendar that way. Or it works for those on-site consultations. So we connect it to your calendar, and then we're actually booking those meetings directly at their homes, collecting their address. Does that all make
Yes.
awesome? So
Now your CRM Go High Level, is that the CRM that I should be using? because you guys use that, or how does that work?
No, you don't have to use it. I mean, you'll have full access to it and you can use all of its features. But, a lot of the times other business owners are, fully integrated with another CRM. So as I mentioned, the bot is hosted there and all the conversations will be held and viewable in our CRM. But then we could also automate all of that information out to your CRM once it's brought to us.
Well, I don't have one at this point, and I'm interviewing a company in a couple hours. I didn't hear of Go High Level, so do you know what the rate is and how user friendly is that?
It's very user friendly. It's become a lot more popular for local businesses in the past year. I'd say when they first launched, it was mainly designed for, marketing agencies to use for their local businesses, but now local businesses are just going ahead and using it for themselves. I mean, if you were partnered with us, you would get access to it, for free. Basically, I wouldn't say for free, you're paying us for, our services, but you wouldn't pay any sort of monthly fee for the CRM. I do know that to have one account on there, it's $97 a month. To have three, it's $197. I think unlimited is going to be $297. So it is a bit costly, but again, in working with us, you would get it full access to it.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So let's say I leave you eventually. Does the CRM stay with me that we've already built, or does that go away?
It would stay with you, and then we would basically discuss because in our service fee, obviously that charge is accounted for. So if you weren't moving forward with our full service fee, we would just have to rediscuss the payment for keeping the CRM under your business.
Okay, got it.
A smaller monthly fee.
Got it.
Awesome. So to bring you through some results here, I updated a couple of these yesterday. Number one, Clearwater Permanent Lighting. These guys are a bit north of you. They're actually in Toronto, Canada. So from February 13th to April 13th, 2 months, they spent $19.72 with us. They got 37 leads at $50 a piece. Of the 37, we know 23 booked, 6 have confirmed, sold, installed for $32,500, and the other 17 are out there for $42,000 in proposal values. These guys are a bit on the lower end as far as average project size, but the volume has been great for them. We work with a handful of outdoor lighting perspectives across the country. This one books in Montgomery County in Pennsylvania from September 12th to April 4th. They spent a little under 11 grand in ad spend, 195 leads at $56 a piece. They're doing their own outreach, their appointment setting. From their reporting, they told us 58 jobs sold for around $285,000 in rev. And then we have Light Source Lighting, the last 30 days, March 14th to April 14th. They spent $22.33 in ad spend for 44 leads at $50 a piece. We know from their reporting in the CRM that they have confirmed 6 sold for $37K and are waiting to hear from the others that were booked. And then lastly, Outdoor Lighting Perspectives of Chicago. One of our bigger fish, we started them at $50 a day ad spend, but scaled them to $250 a day last Q3 going into Q4. So they spent $29,000 in ad spend for 577 leads, $50 a piece. Over $410,000 in jobs sold, but most notably, and Nick mentioned this a little prior, permanent roof line is so hot, so fun to run. In Q3 and Q4, October and November alone, they did over 200 grand for their gemstone permanent roof line product. So look at these results. This time of year, we're averaging, 50 up to $75 per lead. During the hot season per se, that could drop down to 30 per lead on a good basis. But again, our approach is quality over quantity. And while cost per leads may sound great, we're more honed in on our cost per appointment booked for you and then the cost per sale.
Okay, so question on the difference between you guys handling the qualifying of the person that calls in or me. How does that work?
We'll discuss that in a few slides.
Okay.
But basically, we have a package where we set up the whole campaign in full, and then we outreach, we set the appointments. And then the other package, we set up the campaign the same way we would, but we send the leads to you, and then it's your job to reach out, follow up, and set them.
Okay.
Awesome. So diving more into Ava and how it works is that we're customizing it based on how you want to qualify the leads. So asking what service they're interested in, a specific budget, their timeline, if they already have lights installed, any problems they're having, etc. And then only if qualified, Ava then manually books them into your calendar. So again, it works for phone calls, it works for Zoom meetings, or it works for those in-person consultations. And then notably, it's built for your business and your business only. So through its learning model, we're teaching it anything and everything to know about your business. In a perfect world, a lead comes in, we reach out right away, we ask our 3 to 4 questions, we get our answers, and we set an appointment. But if they were to ask about your business hours, they want your website link, they want your address, or they had specific questions regarding your services, Ava's then trained to answer it any way you or someone in our team might. So part of our onboarding process is getting an understanding of your FAQs. What do leads typically ask? What might be some curveballs? And we use that as the basis of our learning model. So Ava's always prepared.
Okay.
Some additional perks with it. Number 1, continuous SMS follow-up. As I'm sure you know, not everyone responds to that first message you send them, or you get lost in the qualification process. They're at the gym, they're at work, they're lazy, they don't feel like responding, whatever it might be. So Ava sent with a very strict cadence to follow up, 3 hours after no response, then 24, 48, 72, and so forth. We are definitely in the annoying follow-up business because at the end of the day, we're running an ad, they clicked on it, they gave us their information to reach out to them. So we're going to continuously reach out basically until they say screw off or we schedule that appointment for them.
Okay.
Number 2, missed call follow-up. So through our CRM, we can set it up so if someone calls in, you miss it or you send it to voicemail, we can send out a text right away saying, hey, this is Debbie with Magical Landscape Lighting. Sorry, I missed your call. How could I help you? And then upon each response, Ava will go ahead and then qualify and book them the same way it would for an inbound lead. Conversational rescheduling is cool to see in real time. Let's say you have an appointment booked for tomorrow at 4 o'clock. If they text you that morning at 10 saying, hey, sorry, I can't make it, we need to reschedule, Ava can turn back on within that conversation and then look to reschedule them for a later time. And then lastly, chat widget integration. So maybe your website provider is doing this for you now, but I'm sure you've seen it on other websites. When you go on the bottom right, it has that little chat widget. You can click on it to fill out a form, whatever it might be. The difference with us is that Ava is built into the chat widget. So any traffic going onto your website could get their questions answered right there and then. And then Ava's following that same qualifying cadence to schedule all of your website traffic the same way it would with the leads that we're generating.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Right. Seamless example of a conversation that we had a couple of weeks ago. Initial message, as I said, hello, thank you for filling out our Facebook form regarding our door lighting services. Am I speaking with Jackson? Yes, this is Jackson. Great to meet you. What type of lighting service are you interested in installing? Mainly landscape. That sounds wonderful. Do you have an approximate budget in mind? $5K. Thanks for sharing. How soon are you looking to get started? Ideally this or next month before summer rolls around. And for context, this conversations happen around 7 o'clock in the morning. Ava's 24/7, 365. It could be set for business hours. It could be set for 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. or it could be 24/7, 365. But in this case, again, it's happening very early in the morning. This client, smaller company, honed in on a small area, so he wants appointments booked right away, same day, next day, doesn't matter. So that's why Ava came back. How about we schedule a 30-minute design consult for today at 9 or tomorrow at 8? Let me know if either of those work. Jackson comes back, that's a bit early for us. Do you have time tomorrow in the afternoon? Ava looks into the calendar. Sure thing. We have availability tomorrow, Friday, March 14th at 2 or 3. Do either of those times work? 3:30 is perfect. Great. I'll schedule you for tomorrow. Could you please provide your address, collect the address, and one more confirmation? So our approach is to be as human-like as possible. Ava will also misspell a word on purpose and correct itself. I'd say 9.9 times out of 10, unless the lead is familiar with AI solutions and how it operates, they never know that they're talking to one. The only indicator is this little message right here. But for a company to send out SMS messages, you have to have that in there.
Got it.
Awesome. So lastly, a full overview on what's included again in our full package. Number one, data-backed ads. We're going to build your ads based on data from 120 plus successful campaigns that we've run in the industry. We script all of your ad creatives and share with you our current winners. So part of our onboarding process, we'll get a Google Drive shared with you. We'll put videos in there that past clients have run that had great success and the current ones that we are running. So you have an idea of what we're looking for. Nick mentioned this a little bit ago, is that the forefront of what we do is in personal touch. We want to promote the people within the business almost more than the services themselves. And that's done through, basic video content where you could be sitting in your office, you could be in front of your house with lights, in front of a client's house that you just finished up, introducing yourself, your business name, your target area, and then a couple, 2-3 sentences about the services that you do and a call to action at the end. So of course we'll send out those videos, those scripts your way for you to film. Have fun with it, raw footage, send us everything that you create, and then we'll do all the video editing ourselves. So as you're introducing yourself, we keep you on camera, but then as you talk about the lights, then we're transitioning, into videos of houses, pictures, whatever it might be that you provide. We could assist in a video hiring process as well. So most of these, the companies are filling them on their iPhone, or in rare cases, they have better video options on their end. But we could help you in finding a local videographer in your area, getting them scheduled out to come to your house or on site for a client, and then doing all the video filming that way. So obviously it's a little more high end, but it's going to be great video content to use for advertisements. You can post it on your organics, you can put it on your website, email marketing, whatever it might be. And then lastly, we're targeting high quality leads based on your ideal client. So we're honing in on the specific zip codes and neighborhoods that you want work in, or that you've done previous work in, and it's going to bring in a lot of volume. And then obviously demographically by age, and then the Facebook interests and behaviors that they give us. With Ava, custom built conversational bot into your business, we are shooting for 50 up to 60% booking rates. 50 to 60% of leads into estimates. When we had a human setter, we typically saw 20 up to 40% booking rates. But now since we're installing Ava, we've seen that increase by 20 and even 30%. So just gaining more out of what we're already bringing in. And then implementing those follow-up sequences. And then for consulting and bonuses, ongoing consulting to help with any bottlenecks. What we mean by that is that Facebook and Instagram advertising is strictly performance and data based. If an ad spends a certain amount of money and doesn't get us the results that we're looking for, we need to recycle that and test something new. The same goes for Ava. If we're not booking at the rate that we're shooting for, we know we need to test something different in our qualifying process or have a new approach to that initial message that we're sending out. Number 2, cash injection campaigns using Ava. Basically, this is called a reactivation campaign. It's an SMS campaign. A good use case that I could see it for you is basically taking your very long lead list of holiday clients that you've done for, and then running a promotion through SMS surrounding your landscape lighting services. So it could be like, hey, this is Debbie with, drawing a blank on the,
Yeah.
say like, just want to check in, see how you're doing. And then it's like, oh, like, by the way, we're running a new offer for our landscape lighting services, so on and so forth. But that is a great way to bring in a higher level of revenue without having to invest any ad spend into it. That's built into Go High Level as well. We'd set it up. We could attach Ava to it as well. So Ava could handle those conversations and book them in for you. And then last 2 things, automated review AI. We can make it easy for you to click a few buttons after a job, thank them, send out that Facebook, Instagram, Yelp, Google link for review, and then that AI chat widget that we could place on your website. Any questions on all of that?
No.
Awesome. So as I mentioned, this is our top tier package. We are looking to work with the clients that we partner with on a longer term. We're here to be marketing partners, again, for the long term and not just a trial for a month or 2 and move on to the next. So for our 4-month term for this system that I just brought you through, our fee is $10K plus the ad spend that you would invest into Facebook and Instagram placements. And then I'm sure you saw it on the ad. That's what got you interested and you're reading it now. Our guarantee of 100K new rev in that time frame where you don't pay. So the stipulation of the guarantee is basically that every 1,000 that you spend in ad spend, we expect a 10x return. So to fall under the guarantee of 100K of new rev, you would have to spend 10K in ad spend. But as I mentioned, it's relative. So if you spend $1,500 a month for 4 months, that comes out to $6K, then that guarantee would be in line with at least $60K of revenue.
Okay.
So that's the last of the slides there.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I mentioned that was the last of the slides there. Is there anything I could clear up for you?
No, go by your fee. Say your fee again. Like, how does this work? Because I'm a little confused.
So our fee for the 4 months term is 10K,
Okay.
and then you still have to pay for the advertising ad spend cost.
Okay.
So if you were to do this package and you were to spend $1,500 a month in ads, then your full investment over the 4 month term would be 16K.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. So on that 2,500 goes to you per month, and then the 1,500 is for the ad spend.
Correct.
On that 1,500, how many leads are you thinking?
Well, kind of dependent on the results that you saw here, like all these were in that $50 range. So if you're spending, $50 a day, 1,500, that's going to even out at around 25 to 30 leads per month.
Okay, got it. Okay, got it. Okay, so after the 4 months, and I've already paid you the $10,000, what happens then?
We basically reconvene. We do a sit down to talk about how much you made, what your return was, but we work on that 4 month basis. So then to continue for another 4 months, it would just be the same price.
Okay, but you've already built everything out for the company. Why would it be the same?
Because it's really the ongoing consulting, because like this isn't put up 4 ads in the beginning and then those 4 ads are the only things that run for the entirety of the 4 months. Because if we started now, obviously our main focus would be landscape lighting and the aspects, but then you want to transition into permanent roof line or make any changes on new offers, that entails all new creatives, all new copy, basically a new campaign build. So it's a very rare case that we're going, even depending on your spend, 5 days without making, changes for the better on the campaign.
Got it. Okay. So promoting the permanent roof line October, November, I'm probably not going to be interested in that because I still have magical holiday designs that we're already booked. Like we work around the clock for those October, November, December. It's just it's the craziest business you could ever imagine. Not even like these other two businesses. So I would not promote that permanent roof line those 3 months for sure.
No worries. Again, we could focus on any service that you want to focus on in that given.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm looking to introduce that into stuff we're doing now, even though it's not Christmas. 4th of July is coming up, Memorial Weekend's coming up. Everybody wants the red, white, and blue, whatever. I mean, if we can promote some of that, that would be great. Just not interested in promoting Christmas lighting for that. I mean, next year, maybe, you know what I mean? I might have a big enough crew that can handle that, plus handle Division 1, which is, but that is not going to happen this year. I don't think. I mean, I'm already like 90% booked on. So I would like to incorporate that permanent lighting now to generate some revenue before we actually jump into, the killing months where we all want to take a gun out and shoot ourselves. Yeah, nobody really gets it. It's 16-hour. We worked 88 days straight, 16-hour days just to get through the season. I mean, it's unreal, really. It doesn't matter how many elves I put on, they don't get it until they're in it. And then they're like, holy crap, what is this? Yeah.
You're like, I tried to warn you.
I did. And I'm very adamant in the interviews, right? So I try to make them understand, but no, nobody gets it. So yeah, I mean, I'm very interested. Do I have to come up with the 10 grand all at once? Because that's not going to happen.
Oh, we can split it up. It's no problem. So it's totally up to you if you want to. It's your preference. Some people like to do it up front. Some people like to split it into 2 payments. 5,000 up front and then 5,000 halfway through, or just do it month to month, 2,500 per month.
I mean, I'm so God, I'm so overspent right now just because of all the investment I had, and then getting this
Sure.
business off the ground is just killing me. I'd probably do a month to month. I mean, if that works for you guys, I'd be probably very more comfortable in doing that.
Yep, we can do it on a month to month, and then it's still a 4-month commitment. As long as you're good with that, then yeah, that's
Correct.
Yeah.
So what would that be? May, June, July, August?
Correct. Yeah.
Roughly, yeah.
Roughly, yeah.
Away.
And then how long would it take you guys to get all this set up? I know that the guys that are working on the website have promised me by May 7th, because I'm actually going to be in Utah with Everlights for there, and they have videos and stuff that I can give you guys for the permit lighting, if that helps.
Yes, that will definitely help. So currently, basically, we can once we get the content and everything, we'll get that edited. And then really it's just like five business days typically for us to get the campaigns and everything going. If we're going to be sending up your Go High Level CRM, there's some stuff we need to do on our end in terms of getting your business registered to be able to send those text messages out. It's a new regulation and law just across the US. It's called A2P, and it's newer, so it's a little bit up and down with how long their approvals take. And generally, there's a lot of back and forth that we have to do on our side just to get that approved, which can take anywhere right now, usually about like 2 weeks, sometimes a little bit longer. So there is a bit of lag time once we get started.
But we set that up right away, and then we build out the campaign in the meantime. So ideally, by the time all our videos are edited, the campaign's set up, A2P is approved, and then we just launch on that 2-week time frame.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, because I think I'm let me look here. I'm like 3.5 weeks out probably before the website gets completely launched, and we'll be tweaking it a little bit after that. But they told me by May 7th.
Yeah. And it's not a huge deal for us. We use Facebook's native lead forms and everything. So yeah, it's not the end of the world if we start without it.
Yeah, we've run for companies that have no website.
Oh.
Yeah. So
okay.
we don't actually need
We're
it.
keeping them on
You
Facebook.
guys handle all that Facebook and what is it? Facebook and Instagram?
Correct. Yeah.
I don't have to do any of that.
You just have to give us access to a Facebook ads manager. If you don't have one, we'll walk you through how to set one up on the onboarding form, give us access, and then we take over from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. No other questions right now. I'm sure I'll come up with some as we move along.
Awesome. That sounds
Who's
good.
Who's going to be my point of contact?
Both of us, mostly Ben. He's the mastermind behind all the ads and the campaigns.
Okay.
Yeah. But I guess in terms of where where you're at right now. How do you feel about kind of the system and everything? Does it sound like in line with what you're looking for?
Well, obviously you've got a proven track record. I have a little hesitation on Ava just because that's a control thing. I'm giving it to somebody else and I'm not comfortable right now with it, but that doesn't mean I can't learn to be. I'm just not positive. My schedule is so crazy because I'm bidding Halloween, I'm bidding Christmas, and now I'm going to be bidding, landscape lighting and permanent lighting. It's like, how do I fit all that in? Or how does Ava fit all that in? It's my schedules. I'm not sure how that's going to work for me. That's the only hesitation I have right now.
Yeah, a couple options. First option is we don't use Ava, right? And you can handle all the leads manually. That's totally fine. The other option with Ava is we can set it up where it doesn't actually book an in-person consult, but it pushes to just a phone call. So they schedule a quick 15-minute phone call in your calendar, and or we just get them to a point where they're qualified, and then we send you a notification to say, hey, we qualified this lead for you. Give them a call, and then you can set the appointment whenever you can.
I kind of like that idea. Because here's the thing too, is like, if they want landscape lighting, I have to do a demo and the demo has to be at night. So, I don't want to go out there during the day and then come back at night and make it a 2-trip kind of thing. I'd rather do it, before sunset, and then I can do the demo. And in the meantime, we have the address so I can look it up. I'll be able to see what it looks like before I get there. But I'm kind of thinking, that might work.
Yep.
And then the permanent lighting, same kind of effect, I think. That could be probably set up anytime and I can go out and take a look at it. I don't have to do that demo at night because really it's an app. I can show it to them on my phone. Yeah, probably do other business owners do that? Probably letting me set the appointment up. I don't know.
I would say a lot of them do, because a lot of them have big service areas, so they also want to be efficient with their sales reps' calendars as well. So it's a little easier for them to just kind of bulk schedule certain appointments if they're close by each other and things like that. So if it's more custom like that and things, it's a little easier for us to qualify the lead, and then at least when we qualify the lead, you're not calling unqualified leads, right? So it still saves you time.
Correct. Yeah. I'm more comfortable with that to start off with, just because I'm so crazy busy.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
So we can do that.
Okay.
And you're not married to that too. If you just tell us, hey, if you want to try the booking system later on, that's totally fine. So it's flexible.
No, I like the screen your calls idea because that's something off my plate, which will help me tremendously. I don't have to screen them. I mean, I'm going to screen my own calls coming in for magical holiday designs. And I can screen those and Ava can screen the landscape ones.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm almost thinking I need another 800 number for magical. So the numbers don't get convoluted. Does that make sense? Should I do that?
Yeah. Well, we can get you a number and go high level.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, we can get you a toll-free number if you need.
Or a local one.
Yep.
No, because I work so Cal, then they question me. Where are you located? How come you're so far away? Da, 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 da. It's like, I work in Beverly Hills, but the actual shop is in Beaumont. No one get there like, what? That's done, not even in our area. So
I can get you a Beverly Hills number as well.
yeah, look at you. That'd be perfect. Give them all to me. Yeah, I think an 800 number would definitely work, or the 888 number. I think that I don't want to mix the two numbers together at this point. So that's an excellent idea.
Yeah, we can do that and have it call forward to you.
Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah. So awesome. Is there anything else I can clear up for you?
No, my mind's racing, so I'll have questions, I'm sure, later, but nothing. You guys explained it pretty good.
Awesome. Are you wanting to move forward, or where's your head at currently?
Yeah, absolutely. I just, like you said, I don't need my website guys to have the website up yet, so I've been pushing them, and so that makes me feel a little bit more better. We can always add that later, right?
Correct. Yeah.
If he doesn't have it up by the 7th or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking it should probably launch. I don't know. You guys need 2 to 3 weeks, so I don't know. The week of May 12th, does that give you guys enough time? What's our lead time on this?
Yeah, if you're ready to go, basically next steps would be we do a payment, we set up an onboarding call, get access to everything, and then we'll start setting up GHL and all that good stuff. So it'll be depending on A2P approval, we're probably looking at 2 weeks ish, and then depending on how long it takes for you to provide some of the content as well.
Yeah, we could set a more realistic date on our onboarding call.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move forward.
But to get the ball
Awesome.
rolling, yeah, we could send you the payment link just for the first month. Then you won't be billed until 30 days after the ads are running for the second.
Perfect. Yeah, that works.
Perfect.
Awesome. So I could go ahead and just send a link in the chat for that first 2,500 installment,
Yeah.
and then we'll go from there. Okay, so 25. Make it one time. All right, just throwing that in the chat there. Your last name, right?
Correct.
I put it in the Zoom chat if you saw that.
Yes.
Awesome.
So do we have, is there a limit on the leads at this point? I mean, how did we know how many are going to come in?
It's dependent
Based
on how
on-
much you spend. Average cost per lead is $50, right? So if you spend $50 a day, you should expect a lead every day. If not, every 2 to 3 days. Some you might get 2 in one day, 0 in the next, 3 the day after that, whatever it might be. But it's like, okay, now if you spend $100 a day, now you're expecting at least 2 leads per day. And then vice versa. If you're only spending $30 a day, it's going to take you maybe 2 days to get that one lead. So basically, ad spend is you're paying for impressions. The more that you spend, the more impressions you get, or rather, the more eyeballs that you get on your ads. So the more leads that you get. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, OLP of Chicago, we started them at $50 a day. So they were getting 1 to 2 per day. But then October, November, we put it up to $250 a day. Our cost per lead stayed the same. So we were getting 5 to 6 leads per day versus just one.
Got it. Yeah. Yep. Perfect. That'll work.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, let us. So yeah, actually, are you having any troubles with the links, or is that opened up on your phone? Okay.
Oh, I was looking at the email. I'm sorry. Did you send it to my phone?
I sent it on the Zoom chat.
Let me
I
look.
can text it over as well if that's easier.
I could text it to you.
I got it. Hang on. I got it.
Perfect. And then we would hope to shoot for Wednesday afternoon or Thursday afternoon for our onboarding call.
Of this week?
Ideally, or
Okay.
until next week.
Thursday.
In your Pacific time, yeah?
Yeah.
So we could do as early as your 10. Anything after that.
10 o'clock Pacific time works. Thursday.
All right, so that'll be 12 Central. I'll move this over and I'll resend that invite out to you so you have the link.
Give me a second. It's thinking.
Yep, all good.
Let's see. What credit card should I try today?
Credit card roulette.
Sounds like you have a lot of options.
Oh my God. This time next year, I'm going to be thanking you guys.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be going, thank God for those guys.
Ben and Nick.
Yes. Okay, let's see. This one. Yeah. Okay, it should have went through. I got a confirmation.
Yep. Looks like that's all good on our side.
Yeah.
Yep, all good on our side. So yeah, now so we got the onboarding call scheduled. Do you have you ran ads on Facebook or Instagram before, or will this be the first time?
No, I did, and there was it was something with the payment. I'd have to log it back in and see what the heck it was.
Okay.
I'll do a little research on that and see if that is okay. Or I'm almost thinking, can't we just start from the scratch and not use what I had? Just open a new.
Yep.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah, we'll figure that out on Thursday. So I'll show you an email with that onboarding form, the Google Drive link, and then onboarding is already good, so I won't send the calendar. So
Okay.
we'll need you to fill out the onboarding form. It's pretty extensive, so we ask you to take your time on it. So it's just like a one-time fill out. We don't have to go back on anything. If we do need to, we'll cover anything on the onboarding call, but we'll gain access. So typically after the onboarding call, we'll just need the media from you, and then we're good to go until launch.
You've now seen us build the offer, run the ads, and close a $10,000 client live on Zoom. But if you're serious about scaling this into a real business, you need the full system, the nuts and bolts that drive $82,000 a month into my agency. In the last video, my business partner Ben and I are pulling back the curtain on everything, from the ads we run to generate 5 to 10 leads a day, to the exact sales deck that closes 10K deals, to the nurture systems and AI bots that let us fulfill clients while we sleep. This is a masterclass built from 7 years of trial and error and the exact playbook we've installed in over 100 agencies doing $50,000 to $80,000 per month. So finish hard, absorb as much info as you can, because this is the blueprint that ties it all together.
For this masterclass, as you could tell, surrounded around ads and AI. So we'll cover today, number one, how we're getting clients in our agency. So behind the scenes look at what we're running nationwide for B2B. I'll walk you through our sales deck. So we'll break down, our offer and our pitch. And we'll go through that whole deck together. And I'll dive into some content strategy. So you guys know what kind of content we're creating for clients, why it works, do a little bit of video versus image comparison, crafting a compelling offer. So I'll go over the importance of offer positioning, how to write effective copy, and hooks that convert. And then I'll do a live campaign build, really just to show you the structure that I use for Facebook advertisements. And then I will build a bot that we use as far as our closed bot in GHL connection. And that will be an actual bot that's launching tomorrow for one of our clients. And I just was saving it for today to build. All right, so I'm going to dive right into it here. Note takers taking notes. So going through this advertising campaign, a little background on us. We've been an agency for around 6 years. And actually, Mac, give me a thumbs up that you could see the ads manager. Perfect. So we've been in business around 6 years. We're predominantly started in home service. So we've We've worked with landscapers, hardscapers, general contractors, roofers, deckers, pool builders, HVAC, electrical, plumbing, anything of the sort in home service. But within the past couple of years, we've kind of sub-niched down to the outdoor lighting industry. So outdoor lighting is like landscape lighting on your home, up lighting, the permanent roof line lights is a new product, pool lighting, path lighting, holiday lighting, Christmas lighting. It's very popular. So it's very sub-niche, but it is a part of home service, and that's what we've been mainly focused on. It's a luxury service. People buy it because they want it, not because they need it. So from our perspective, it was ultimately a gold mine, and there wasn't really anyone specialist marketing agency for that industry. So that's where we stepped in. So for the past little while here, as far as year to date, that's ultimately what I'm showing you today. You can see, looking at these two campaigns, we spent almost about $10,000 in ad spend to collect around, let's just say, 380 leads. So to walk you through kind of our approach to this, we test a variation of both broad targeting and lookalike targeting. So B2B is completely different advertising wise compared to what you're doing locally, because it's a lot harder, obviously, to find your prospects when you're running for 50 states instead of, in a couple of counties. So Facebook's a lot more optimized for broad targeting. So I rarely use interests locally, even B2B, unless Open's just not performing as well as it's supposed to, because with all the AI implementations of Facebook, like the Advantage Plus targeting, Advantage Plus placements, just Advantage Plus, everything that you see now on there, they are using a lot more just artificial intelligence-based systems, to the point where if your creative is in line, meaning that you're calling out your ideal prospect within your creative, within your hook, in your copy, in your headline, Facebook's going to figure out who you're trying to reach out to. So nine times out of 10 these days, you could rely on open targeting, and then, a couple of days later, it's really going to start pick up, and, your reach and your impressions will be ideally surrounded for who you're looking for. But an alternative to that is running a lookalike audience. So we do a mix. So we basically scraped a list. So we paid someone on Upwork that scrapes list. We asked for 3,000 outdoor lighting businesses. So they give us their names, their emails, their phone numbers, their business website, all their social links, things of that nature. And we create a lookalike audience off of that. So now we know that we're reaching those people within the list and then people who are similar to those. And we find, a bit better results when we're using lookalike, and obviously we're more confident that our ads are reaching the right people when using that. So we're spending around $200 a day right now. I actually just scheduled our relaunch for tomorrow morning, but these two are running right now. If we look at the maximum, this picture ad spent about $2,000. Let someone in, and the video is spent around a little under $500. Not too honed in on the metrics, because what's most important with B2B is going to be our cost per lead, and then of course our cost per booking. But the video has done very well. Our cost per lead is a lot cheaper in comparison to the image ad that we were running. So that's why our relaunch is actually 3 new videos. We're getting rid of the picture creative. But again, as you can see, almost 60 leads from the image, 44 leads from the video, and about a third of the spend. And I'll show you what those exactly look like. So with our image, we're leading with our offer, and our offer is, we'll guarantee your business $100,000 in new revenue in 120 days through what we call, our outdoor lighting OS system. And then within the note, we're kind of laying out some more details on that. It's a fully installed system that will generate leads in less than 48 hours. Our AI bot will reach out to every single lead within 60 seconds, book them into your calendar. We take all the risks, send qualified estimates directly to you. After you see results, you want to keep working with us. Copy is super simple. It's ultimately restating the offer. We're calling out our prospects. So again, if this was running broad, Facebook is going to start to understand that we're trying to find outdoor lighting business owners. So restating the offer, call to action, click learn more, and then we do a bonus, because everyone that opts in, we do send them a guide. It's kind of like if you do like an ebook or any sort of PDF that you send out when you're doing organic outreach, we send that guide after they opt in. So this image has worked very well. We basically just made variations of that, and the variations are just color variations. So we've done black on yellow, white and red, orange and black, and all have performed well. But now we're using UGC creators. So we use something called Backstage.com. And Backstage.com is kind of the same as Fiverr and Upwork, but ultimately you could find people who are willing to film your social media advertisements. I'm not that fond of putting myself on camera. I've tried it. Let's just say best film video ads. So instead, we create a script. We send that script out to these people on Backstage. We put up a post. We thought we were going to get a couple submissions. We got like 150 submissions in 48 hours. So we kind of had to scrape who we wanted to get. But if we look at what's running right now, this is one of our better performing videos. I'll just play it for you guys to check out.
What if we guaranteed your outdoor lighting business $100,000 in new revenue over the next 120 days, or you don't pay us a dime? We're not your average ad agency. We're a revenue growth partner built specifically for outdoor lighting pros. Our outdoor lighting OS system combines targeted ad strategies that connect you with high intent homeowners in your area with an AI-powered chatbot that instantly responds to leads, qualifies them, and books them straight into your calendar. We use personal edited videos that showcase you, your team, your story, and the incredible work you've done. This builds trust fast and makes your ads stand out. And we target the right people by zip code, age, interests, and behaviors, so your message hits only the homeowners most likely to buy. It's a done-for-you system that delivers real results, not just clicks. As a bonus, when you fill out the form, you'll get instant access to our 60-page ultimate guide to lead generation for outdoor lighting businesses. It's packed with proven strategies, tips, and tools you can start using today. Let's bring in $100,000 for your business fast.
So obviously watching that video, you can clearly see what our offer is, who we're catering to. Sorry, let me reshare my screen. And it gives more of the professional outlook when you use someone who might look like a friend or a similar outdoor lighting business owner. So we actually started using these UGCs only about 2 to 3 weeks ago, but it's crushed our image ad as far as cost per call. And then similarly, we sent the same script to Kimberly here. I won't play this one because it's going to be the same script, but again, putting a new face to the brand could just open up people more instead of them relying on the same image ad with the offer. So we find our cost per lead has dropped. In accordance with that, our cost per call has dropped. So with our ads, once they click learn more, we actually just went to a lead form because not everyone that clicks, let's just say, into a landing page is going to book. So if someone opts into our lead form, we have email sequences going out to send out the calendar if they didn't book. And if they do book, we also have email sequences to kind of nurture them. So we're sending them case studies, we're sending them testimonials, we're sending them results, and just more information ultimately on how we operate. So running to the lead form, we're basically restating the offer. We're just collecting name, email, and phone, nothing major there. And then they get sent to our landing page. Our landing page is simple. It's basically just restating the offer. We test a DSL versus a VSL. So a DSL is a deck sales letter. So it's basically a slide presentation. Just going more into kind of our system, kind of everything that, Chad talked to you about. Then a VSL, obviously the virtual sales letter when we're actually talking. We found the DSL performs better, just trying to, be in the mind of our prospects. And it's like, even if there is an 8-minute VSL, who's actually sitting there for 8 minutes and watching it, it's a very small percentage. So with a DSL, we basically just pack, the first 10 slides with the most important information. We gander that people who come on kind of just quickly swipe through, but really our offer, our testimonials, our case studies are enough for people to go ahead and book a call with us. So in the past 2 days, actually, it's been phenomenal. We've had 10 calls booked in the past 2 days. We're spending $200 a day, so $400, 10 calls, around $40 a call. Just because you get $40 a call doesn't mean that your show rate's good. Our show rate's pretty right now, around 40 to 50%. So that brings our cost per live call, up to $80 to $100, which is still absolutely phenomenal in the B2B industry, because if you're paying, let's just say you're paying $200 a call, we're selling a $10,000 package. Anyone's going to pay $200 to get someone on a call if they're going to sell a 10K service. So definitely could be worth looking into UGC. Obviously, it's a system because you have to pay these guys. So for 2 videos, cost us $150, and we send it to our editor, another like $75 there. But again, it's like, are we going to spend $300 to get a really good quality video that's going to bring in 100 leads and 40 book calls? It's kind of a no-brainer. So like any business, it takes investment, it takes risk. Sometimes you just got to take the leap, and trust that obviously your approach is going to work. So after we get them on the call, basically the way our sales calls work, currently now me and Nick are both in them head on. We like that 2 people are on the call versus 1. And we got salespeople in the mix as well, but we bring them on. They're already pretty well nurtured because after they've booked, we send them our thank you page. Our thank you page again is And with Nick first, thanking them, thank you for joining our call, and then a little background on our business. Then there's a video of me kind of doing a description further into this deck, and then below that's a case study, multiple case studies that we've had with clients. So we bring them on Zoom, we ask them, how's your experience been working with us? How much money have you made? Would you recommend us to others? Things of that nature. So after someone's booked a call with you, if this is a discovery call or a sales call, like if you're not running ads, it's super important to send them as much information about your business as possible, because it's just because they booked a call with you doesn't mean they have any intention of buying, doesn't mean that they trust you. But if you take the effort to reach out and say, hey, these are results we got from a company similar to yours in the past 3 days. Like, hey, if you want to check out some companies that we're working with, here's a list of them, things of that nature, because your prospects probably have a dozen people in their inbox, a dozen marketers in their inbox every month, if not every week. So you need some way to stand out. And the biggest decision maker really in the industry right now is like, who am I going to trust and why am I going to trust them? And to break through that trust barrier ultimately comes down to providing the credibility that you're doing what you actually say that you are doing. So anywho, when someone comes on a call, we do discovery. So discovery is really like we'll give you the floor, tell us a little bit about your business, dive into your services. And again, we're very niche down. We're kind of specialists in the outdoor lighting industry, so we understand it well. So they'll talk about their landscape or their permanent roof line lighting or things that they're trying to add on. We ask them about their marketing. So trying to get an understanding of what they're doing for marketing, what they're doing to bring in leads, and then what they're looking to get into as far as lead generation. And then basically from there, we're asking them, how many additional appointments are they looking to get that month? And then, never has it been a case where we're not going to share a screen, and walk them through our process. So discovery is probably nothing that you guys aren't already doing, but just getting a basis of what they do, what they've done in the past that doesn't work, because then you can leverage that as you're making your pitch. So if they're like, I've tried Facebook and Instagram ads and it didn't work, now I know, they didn't work because maybe the agency wasn't changing the ads as much, or they were running a very small budget, or they were boosting posts versus actually running them in the ads manager. So it's like, as we're talking through our process, I'm hitting their pain points and I'm saying, the last time you ran ads, you did this is what we're doing differently to have a different outcome. But once I share my screen, I kind of give them that overview that I gave you guys on our background, being that we started in home service, over 6 years ago. Around 3 years ago, we honed in on this outdoor lighting industry. So we understand it very well. We know who your dealers are. We work with many large franchises like Outdoor Lighting Perspectives, Blingo, Trimlight, everything of that nature, and then diving into our process. So if I were to scroll through this, I'll basically go through it as I would for a prospect. So the first thing that, we do for your business is generate leads for you, obviously. In a few more slides, I'll dive deeper into the strategy that we take for that. But once a lead comes in, that immediately gets sent to Ava. Ava is what we call our AI virtual assistant. So within 1 minute, Ava sends out that first message saying, hey, this is Nick. Thanks for filling out our Facebook form. Am I speaking with Ben? And then upon each response, Ava asks a set of questions of your choosing. So usually with outdoor lighting, we're asking, great, what service are you interested in? How soon are you looking to get those lights installed? Maybe what's your approximate budget? And then once properly qualified, Ava will talk through open days and times on your calendar to schedule an appointment. So we use the CRM Go High Level so we can easily integrate with your business calendar. That's where the conversations are hosted. That's where the bot is hosted. But we could also automate all lead information, all appointment information out to whatever CRM that you are using. So Ava will book the appointment directly into your calendar. We'll alert you of that booking. So your job in this entire process is to just confirm beforehand, show up, obviously close the job. This works for conversationally scheduling in-person consultations, Zoom meetings, and phone calls. Most popular, we are conversationally booking an in-person consult or phone call. Right behind that, we get a lot of requests to basically reach out, we qualify, we ask them if they want to schedule. Once they say yes, then we send you an internal notification saying, hey Ben, this is a hot lead, ready to schedule, please give them a call. And the reason that we offer that is because some business owners are they like to have control over their schedule. Depending on their sales reps, depending on their service area, they don't want an appointment booked 1 hour up north when later that afternoon they're an hour and a half down south. Things in that nature. But again, making that point just to show them how custom it can be. Usually, and then I'll ask if they have any questions, and I don't think I've ever had a question on our process because I lay it out the fact that we bring in leads, we reach out, we qualify, we book them in. And it's pretty much a no-brainer for there. So going into our process, we show them results. So Clearwater Permanent Roofline Lighting, been with them since February 12th to May 1st, $25.69 spend, 43 leads, $60 a piece. Don't just show your leads and cost per lead because they don't care that much. They care about how much money are these people actually making. So of the 43, Ava booked 25 in, 8 confirmed sold for $48.5 in rev, with an additional $53,000 out in proposal value from the other 17. So I make the point that I like to show these guys as a testimonial because they're 2 young brothers, first year in business, 19 and 21 years old. So it shows that you don't have to have any crazy online presence or skin in the game to do well on the Facebook and Instagram side of things. Then scroll through a couple more results. Magical Landscape Lighting, again, same spiel, September to April. They spent this much, that many leads, 58 jobs sold. But again, our focus is quality over quantity. We don't gloat over cost per lead because at the end of the day, cost per appointment booked and cost per sale are the much more important metrics that we need to track in the back end. So basically, yeah, 44 leads at $50 a piece. That's awesome. Okay. But what if we make contact with 10, you booked in 2 and you sold 0? I'd rather get you 10 leads where you make contact with 9, you scheduled 5 of them and you sold 3 of those. So cost per lead obviously is important, but these guys are more focused on the end result, which is how much am I paying to actually visit this person's home? And then how much should I pay to actually close that job?
Also, real quick, if you like what you're watching and you want to implement this into your business, then click the link below to book a call with me and we can install this directly into your business.
So after results, dive in a little bit more on Ava, again, because that's where a lot of our value comes from. We do get a lot of backlash in the essence of like, what makes you different, from a lead generation aspect. And ultimately, let me touch on that in a little bit. So diving more into Ava, I explained that we're customizing it based on how you want to qualify. So asking service, their budget, timeline, any problems they have, if they already have lights installed, etc. And then only if qualified or once qualified, Ava manually books them in. So something to note with Ava, and again, this is the closed bot that you guys all have access to, which the modules are on that I filmed. But the bot is built for, your business and your business only. So through its learning model, basically teaching it anything and everything to know about your business. Because in a perfect world, we reach out to the lead, they respond, we ask our questions, we get our responses, we book them in, great. But if they ask for their website link, if they ask for your business hours, your business address, Ava will be trained to answer any way you or someone on your team might. So basically, part of our onboarding is getting an understanding of your FAQs, using that as the base of its learning model. And of course, through trial and error, through questions, if Ava doesn't answer a question the way that we want it to, we go in and make that tweak. And then additional perks, continuous SMS follow-up. As you guys know, not everyone responds to that first message you send them, or you lose them in the qualification process. So Ava's set on a cadence to follow up 3 hours after no response, 24, 48, 72, and so forth. I like to say we're in the professional bit of annoying follow-up business because at the end of the day, we're running an ad. They saw it. They clicked on it. They gave us their information, their consent to reach out. We're going to keep reaching out until they say, you know what, Ben, I'm not interested. Or they go ahead and schedule that phone call or in-person consult. And then missed call follow-up, through our CRM Go High Level, we can set it up where if someone calls in, you miss it or you push the voicemail, we'll reach out saying, hey, this is Ben, sorry I missed your call, how could I help you? And then Ava will pick up the conversation, qualify, and book from there. Conversational rescheduling, another feature of the bot. So this is if you are conversationally booking that in-person consult or phone call. But let's say you have a meeting for tomorrow at 4 o'clock and they text you that morning saying, hey, something came up, I can't make it. Ava can turn back on within that conversation and then look to reschedule them for a later date. And then the last thing, the chat widget integration. So I'm sure you've seen it on other websites. In the bottom right, click it, it goes up, you fill out a form. The difference with us is that Ava's built into the chat widget. So all of your website traffic, you get all their questions answered there. So ultimately, we're trying to leverage everything that comes onto your website that interacts with the chat widget, and then everything we're bringing inbound on Facebook and Instagram. Following this, I show them an example of a conversation. I won't dive too deep into this, just to kind of glance, but I go back and forth to see that we asked, what lighting service they're interested in, their budget, how soon they're looking to get started, and then it asks them if they want to schedule. They said that's a bit early, so Ava checks the calendar again, provides times for that date, books them in, asks for the address, and then confirms it one more time. So I just make the point that obviously Ava uses the lead's response in accordance to its own. Ava will also throw in or misspell a word on purpose and correct itself, again, just to give it that human-like feel. 9.9 times out of 10, no one knows they're talking to an AI unless they have familiarity with the industry. The only indicator could be the opt-out message, but of course, if you're a business sending out SMS through a CRM, you have to have that verbiage in there. So then I dive into basically everything that's included. So number one, data-backed ads. We're going to build your ads based on data from 120 plus successful campaigns that we've run in the industry. Number two, most important, and this goes back to the first slide, generating the leads for you. The forefront of what we do is in personal touch. We want to promote the people within the business almost more than the services themselves because, at the end of the day, no one is on Facebook or Instagram to get sold on anything, especially a luxury service like outdoor lighting. So I like to say short term, our goal obviously is to bring in leads, book appointments, and make sales. But long term, we want to overall grow your brand and make you a local celebrity when it comes to outdoor lighting. Because no one's scrolling to get sold on anything. Just because they don't buy right now doesn't mean 3 months down the line, when they do think about investing into something like outdoor lighting, they're going to think about who we're advertising for first. So part of our onboarding process, basically, we've got a Google Drive shared with you, shared with you previous videos we've created for clients, current ones that we're running right now. So you have an idea of what we're looking for. We also share video scripts with you to follow. It's very simple. Introduce yourself, your business name, your service area, and then 2 to 4 sentences about your services. Film it raw, have fun, be creative with it. You send us all the footage, we'll edit it in-house, we'll do all the transitions to make it more, professional. A bunch of people like this approach, and when people ask us what makes you guys different, you have to make the point that anyone can set up a Facebook campaign. Literally, a 12-year-old can watch a YouTube video and understand the basics of setting up the campaign, the ad set, and the ad level. But content is king these days, and that's kind of, again, back to the point I made where we rely more on broad targeting because your creative, your offer will optimize and do the work for you. So that's why personal content is so important these days, because you're ultimately gaining that trust factor for the business owner in their area. So basically another point that I make is that, people only buy from those who they know, like, and trust. It's the cliche, but it's true. So our overall advertising goal is to get people to know, like, and trust you through that personal content. Most of the time it's filmed on an iPhone, but we could assist in a video hiring process. So basically we'll find a local videographer in your area. We'll send them out to your house or on site to a job that you're doing, and we'll do all the filming that way. And then last thing, we're targeting high quality leads based on your ideal client, location wise, honing in on those specific zip codes and neighborhoods you want to be in, demographically by age, alongside the Facebook interests and behaviors that they give us. But most of the time, again, content is king. And then little overview on Ava. Again, Ava is a custom built conversational bot into your business. We shoot for 50 up to 60% response and booking rates. When we had a human setter on our team that handle our clients' leads, generally our booking rate was around 20-25%. Since installing Ava, that's doubled and more. And we credit that to the immediate speed of lead and the follow-up cadences that we set in place. And then covering consulting and bonuses. So ongoing consulting to help with any bottlenecks. And really what we mean by that is that Facebook and Instagram are strictly performance and data based. If an ad spends a certain amount of money, doesn't get us the results we're looking for, we know we need to recycle that and test something new. Same goes for Ava. If Ava is not booking at the rate that we're shooting for, we know we need to switch up our initial message, change up our offer, or something within our qualification process. So this is never a case of throw up 3 or 4 ads, cross our fingers, 2 months later, hope it works. We're continuously making changes dependent on the performance. And then secondly, cash injection campaigns using Ava. This is the reactivation SMS campaign. So if you have an old lead list of leads that you sent a quote and they didn't respond, or it was leads who fell through the crack, we'll capture that list and run an SMS blast for you. My favorite use case for it, and again, this works great in outdoor lighting because a lot of people do holiday lighting, but then they also do, like landscape and permanent when it's not the holiday season. So I make the point that we can capture your past holiday client list, run an SMS campaign to educate them more on your permanent roof line and landscape lighting services, because the trust factor is already there. They've already bought from your business. You've installed it. They loved it. It's a much more likely chance that they're going to purchase from you if they already have in the past. And then last 2 things, automated review AI, through Go High Level, make it easy for you, thank them for their business, send that Facebook, Google, Yelp link, and the AI chat widget will place on your website. So a lot of words there, but overall, we're going to run your ads based on what we're currently seeing is working in the industry right now. We'll reach out to the leads, we'll qualify it, we'll schedule them in for you with those consulting and bonuses on top. And at this point, I ask, is there any confusion about this process? I would love for anyone to unmute and say if there's any confusion about everything I just dived into. Like, would anyone have a question that is it full clarity? Like, you fully understand the offer and everything that we do? I would say maybe less than 3 times, we've had to kind of re-clarify stuff. So there's one more slide. It's the pricing. And I just like to make the point that we like to work with our clients more on a long-term basis. No aspect of business or advertising is a get-rich-quick scheme. Again, short-term, we want to bring you those leads, those appointments, those sales, but long-term, we want to be marketing partners for years to come. We want to grow your brand as a whole. So I preface that, and then I go into pricing because we have a 4-month term. Our 4-month term is $10K plus the ad spend that you will invest. Then I immediately dive into the guarantee. And like I'm sure you're looking at the guarantee, you saw it on our ad, you probably saw it in an email and a text you sent. Basically, the stipulation of the guarantee is that every $1,000 that you invest in ad spend, we project a minimum 10x return. So $1,000 in, $10,000 out in revenue. So to meet the 100K of new revenue guarantee, you would have to spend 10K in ad spend, but it's relative. So most of our clients spend $1,500 a month. 4 months, that's 6K. Our projected minimum off of that is 60K, and that's based off of the results that we're getting for our clients right now. Obviously, that's the minimum. We're shooting for much larger goals. And then basically play the quiet game until, whatever they say, handle the objection. But literally 9.9 times out of 10, our only objection is price and timing. And that's kind of the position you want to be in, because if your only objection is price, you have no issue with the service. It's something that they want. They just got to figure out, okay, how am I going to spend $10,000? But a point I like to make around price, and it's like $10,000 plus ad spend, right? Like it looks like a lot, but if you were to say, because that comes out to $2,500 a month. So if I were to present it that we have a 4-month term and it's $2,500 a month, they'd be like, holy shit, that's $10,000 over the course of 4 months. That's a lot of money. But now prefacing it that it's a 4-month term, it's 10K, it's kind of the inverse. You're like, okay, that's $2,500 a month. It's like that small little like offer or positioning of your price point that could actually, rewire their mindset on, what the price point might be. So we've just found it better where we basically offer the PIF and then we bring them back down to the monthly. Very rare do we get pay in fulls off of the 10K. We've gotten some 5K up front, 5K halfway. Majority of the time, we're doing $2,500 per month. At the end, that's what we want. So we're never going to complain about $2,500 a month. And then something else that we offer. So basically, if we do get a price objection, they're not able to afford it, we try to downsell them. Our downsell is just ads and consulting and bonuses. So we're going to do everything that I mentioned regarding the campaign setup, the personal videos, everything regarding consulting and bonuses. Ava's just not part of it. So we're not reaching out, we're not qualifying, we're not scheduling. That 4-month term comes out to $6,500. So instead of $2,500 a month, you're looking at around $1,600. So again, at this point, ideally, we're just handling price objection, trying to figure out if it's a good fit. If they're not ready to invest the full $2,500 right now, we push deposits pretty hard. And really our approach to deposits is that we're exclusive to the companies that we work with. We can't work with an outdoor lighting business, in Naples, Florida, and then pick up another one that services Naples, Florida, because then our ads will be competing against each other. It's unfair to both parties. So if you want to lock in your service area right now, we'll do a $500 deposit, and then you'll pay the remaining amount, whatever the time frame they're given, usually 1 or 2 weeks in the future. So that's the gist of the pitch. Generally I get it over with in about 7 to 10 minutes. Most of our calls probably go from 30 to 40 minutes long. Wow, that's a lot of talking.
Oh yeah, quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just in terms of like the pricing, if they don't pay up front, you don't charge like a little bit more.
No, because our price point's higher, and that's something that you could test. But I'm not fond of it because it's like if you buy right now, it's 10K, but if you get off the call, it's 15K, and that could kind of be a push away because 10K is a big investment. $2,500 a month is a big investment, and I just make the point that we're in the business of spending money to make money. So like I understand the risk, you might be scared a little bit, but of course, looking at our past results, our case studies, we are getting results. We've never had to work for free. We've hit our guarantee every single time. I've never personally tested that, because that's what you're saying, Jarrett. If it's like, if you're on the call right now, this is the price, but if you go off, it's a little more expensive, right?
It's more of like they could pay 10K an hour, they could pay, instead of like 2,500, it'd be like 2,700 a month.
It's something worth attempting, but my gainer is like, if they're not willing to pay the 25 right away, why would they turn around and then pay you the $2,700 a week later? So that's why I like the approach of offering the pay in full, like offering the price point of what it's going to come out to in 4 months, and then backtracking down to what it actually costs monthly.
Okay, so you're charging them monthly no matter what.
Yeah, because we want the 10K up front for 4 months, because then they're locked in. But then they're going to ask, we get it on almost every call. They're like, is that 10K up front? Is there payment plans? I'm like, yes. So you can do the 10K up front. Some of our clients do that, but you could also split it up 5K up front, 5K halfway, or we could just do $2,500 a month.
Have you tried like using a firm or whatever where they're paying monthly, but you get all the money up front?
No, not necessarily. So we've just kind of been writing on the full process, but I'm going to move forward here. So if you do have questions, just drop them in the chat, and I'll try and basically answer them as I'm going through. But I just kind of want to flow through this, and then we're going to do a long Q&A at the end. So I covered how we're getting clients. I already went through our advertising campaign for that. For those of you who didn't join, the recording will be up. We just went through our sales deck. So now let's dive into some content strategy. So basically in this drive, it's going to be a little quiet. We're just going to watch through basically some videos that, I've set up for clients. Again, the personal approach is the foundation of what we do, because sounding like a broken record, but it's worth making the point that the idea or the reason that you're running Facebook and Instagram ads obviously is to make your money back and more, but you don't get brand awareness on a platform like Facebook and Instagram that you do anywhere else. 80% of the traffic, or 80% of the people that are seeing your ads, have never heard of you. They've never seen your business. They don't know what you offer. So you're just getting so many eyeballs and prospects for your business. And that's the point 7. Let's just watch all of these here.
Welcome to RO Poolscapes. I'm Rafael Aguilar, founder and CEO. And if you've been dreaming of a backyard that feels like a private luxury resort, you're in the right place. Here in Southwest Florida, outdoor living isn't just an option, it's a lifestyle. That's why we design and build custom pools and outdoor spaces that blend elegance, punctuality, and innovation. At RO Poolscapes, we don't just build pools, we create experiences. Our mission is simple: to transform your backyard into a stunning high-end paradise that adds beauty, value, and relaxation to your home. Let's make your dream backyard a reality. Contact us today and let's create something incredible together.
Hi, I'm Cheryl and I'm the owner of Blingle Premier Lighting. And with George this evening is Stunning Lanai, which we basically blingled for you, didn't we, George?
Oh, absolutely. The team at Blingle did an incredible job. The lighting is completely transformed overnight. The warm, inviting, perfect for entertaining. We find ourselves out here all the time, whether it's just us relaxing or even hosting our friends and family. At the end, it's amazing how much Blingle transformed our life.
You found a crack in your basement. There are all kinds of cracks. Some of them can be issues. Some of them don't do anything. You have a shrinkage crack. They're typically very small. Don't leak water. There's no deflection in them. It's not something to worry about. You have a crack up with water. You can talk a little bit about the different kind of repairs that you have in order to keep that from leaking. What we typically do is we'll come in and we'll put injection ports over the crack. Then we'll skin it with a polyester resin. And lastly, we'll inject it with polyurethane or an epoxy. If a crack leaks but has no structural issues, we'll use a polyurethane. If it has movement in it or deflection, we can use epoxy to kind of hold the crack back together. If you find a crack in your basement and you want it to be assessed or repaired, give us a call at OC Parking Solutions.
Hi, this is Josh with J&B Landscaping. And we are seeking 10 residents in the Kansas City metro area that want their dream landscaping in their front or backyard. Click the link below for a fast and free estimate.
Hello, I'm Michael with MLT, owner and operator. We are a general contractor based out of Arlington, Washington. We're dedicated to bring your visions to life, whether it be your forever home, full design builds, kitchens, bathrooms, interior, living rooms, exterior, siding, doors, decks, porches, whatever it may be. Please click the link below. Feel free to give us a call, 360-926-4039. Maybe we can have a conversation, get you some info, or get your project moving forward.
Hey, I'm Ben Stiles with Vista Roofing. The project today, what we're doing is actually a complete roof replacement. We're taking off the old roof that has some problems. They have a few leaks in the home. And we're going back down to the bare bones, doing a full inspection to make sure we don't have any bad wood, start building it back up from the ground up. So we replace all the underlayments, ice and water shields in the valleys, starter shingles, and a 50-year architectural shingle roof. So once this project's done, not only is it going to have a great roofing system that's going to last 50 years, but it's also fully warranted for those 50 years. Anything happens to that roof, it's covered. This is my homeowner's forever home. This is where they're planning on spending the rest of their retirement days. And as they get older and they live in this house for a longer period of time, they don't want to have to worry about things in their.
All right. So, I mean, you guys get the gist of it. There was a lot of variety in there because I wanted to put in some that were, obviously professionally filmed by a videographer and edited. Others were just filmed by the owner itself on his iPhone. And again, similar results compared to the two, because I like to make the point that the iPhone videos don't scream advertisement. They don't scream I'm selling something. So, as someone is scrolling, it could be a lot more engaging for, that iPhone creative. But moving on, kind of just surrounding video content. Let me try and fix this, guys. One sec. So the basics of the video content, leading with introduction, business owner name, company name, service area, going into 2 to 4 sentences about your service, maybe more. That's why I tell the business owners, have fun, be creative with it. It's like the roofing one. Like he went really in depth about exactly what they're doing, their mission statements, showing, testimonials from the customers that they're working with. And then at the end of the video, do the call to action to present the offer. So it's like, so if you guys are interested in getting a new roof, if you guys are interested in getting a new pool, click down below and get 10% off, things of that nature. So as I mentioned, we do send video scripts as well as kind of like a Google Drive of videos, for our new clients to watch so they have an idea of what we're looking for. But you want to make everything as easy as possible because what really holds back a campaign is usually them giving us this content. But I'll just kind of scroll through this. Again, it's following the strategy of introducing themselves, going into a couple sentences about their services, with the call to action. So this one's kind of focusing on curb appeal or outdoor lighting. This one's more geared toward higher end homes. And then lastly, landscape lighting specifically. And then at the bottom of that, we also have like a B-roll checklist. So we want before and after shots. We want finished projects. We want lighting in action, bonuses, and, just throwing in tips for them. So literally laying it out, the SOP of no questions asked by them. They have a full understanding of what they need to do and what they need to give us. So diving more into image content, really, because I make the point that the personal video approach is the foundation of what we do, but we're cross-testing that with more basic images, carousels, before and afters, grids, and more B-roll style video content. So sometimes it is the case. We see it a lot where images will just outperform those videos. We still run the videos for the basic brand awareness. And as long as it's within KPI, we're not going to put it down. But sometimes an image will get 50 leads and the video might only bring in, 15. But basics of image content, you want something that's going to stop the scroll. So the best and brightest pictures that they have. You can implement your offer directly into the creative as well as hit pain points depending on your industry and ultimately focus on the end result. So like this is the end result, permanent roofline product. People looking at this understand that it's color changing. It's remote controlled. They're seeing the same house in 4 different lights, different colors, different patterns, different animations, throwing up the logo with them there. Kind of the similar grid here, except in this grid we're promoting multiple services. So if someone sees this, it's like, all right, these guys are promoting permanent roof line. Now they look at this like, okay, path lights, permanent roof line, architectural, pool lighting, things of that nature. So make them more educated on everything that the business is offering. This one's more leading with the offer. So our offer a lot of the times for outdoor lighting is a demo. See your home in lights before they are installed. It's a very strong offer because a lot of people don't want to basically spend $5,000 on lights and they don't know what they look like until that $5,000 is gone. So leading with the offer, if someone's scrolling, they see the landscape light, the pathway, the pool. If they are interested in, or if they're shopping for outdoor lighting, obviously they're going to be very inclined to click on this because they're going to get the opportunity, again, to see their home and lights before full installation. A couple more branding creatives. And again, I use Canva for everything that I create. Most of these are templates that I find. I like to look up like real estate designs or just multi-picture designs and then edit it from there. But scrolling through this creative, if you land on it, you know exactly what they offer. They do professional outdoor construction, or mainly focus on their pergolas, gazebos, and outdoor kitchens. Still leading with the offer too there on the bottom. Limited time, get 10% off with their contact information there on the bottom right. Pretty similar one I had for a roofing company. I have this screenshot in here this way because sometimes it's not the videos that outperform images. This image has 425 likes, 319 comments, and 12 shares for Massey Roofing down in Florida. They have 3 locations. This ad alone has brought in over 800 leads. So again, as you're scrolling, they fully understand we do professional roof replacements in Florida. Naming the offer, and then other sub offers: free roof inspections, 10% off for military, monthly plans, get a free estimate with contact information. This one's more leading with pain point. So roofing is a tough industry, but a lot of times we're leading on insurance, roof damage, old roofs. So does your roof look like this? If someone is scrolling and they see that and they have the realization, oh shit, my roof does look like that, it can give them more of a reason to go ahead and learn more, click in, information. So still leading with the offer: save big on storm damage or aging roofs, schedule your free inspection, and they do a free driveway pressure wash with the claim file. And lastly, kind of a review-based ad. So if you actually have a post that someone made regarding that company, absolutely use that, or you can kind of create a version of yourself. So if someone's scrolling, it just looks very natural that Brian White posted this after seeing my neighbor's new kitchen. I knew I needed the same with mine. Modern Interiors Inc. made it happen, and then showing images of their work, likes, comments, and shares on that. So again, the image approach is ultimately stopping the scroll with the absolute best pictures that they have in their library, and then trying to make them educated on the offer or end result really as quickly as possible. So let's dive more into crafting compelling copy and offers. So the most important part of your copy is going to be the hook, the first sentence. So you need to grab attention basically through the first sentence of your copy. I should say copy. You need to grab attention through the first sentence of your copy, and then within the first 5 to 10 seconds of your creative, if it's a video. So let the hook grab enough attention to force them to watch the video or to read more into the copy and creative. So different angles to take on your hook. An introduction. So first person, hey, my name is Ben with Ben's Landscaping here in Plainfield, Illinois. Leading with your service area call out. So calling all Orlando homeowners, get $500 off. Leading with problem versus solution. So problem could be like, have you had your roof inspected in the last 10 years? Description of creative, that's more focusing on, like, let's say you have time lapse or before and after. It's like, watch the video below to see how we transform this backyard. And then lastly, list of services, very basic. So it works very well when you kind of run an image like this, and then you're literally just listing out your services within the copy. So like, no joke that I've run copy and headlines that looks like we offer landscape lighting, permanent roof line, and then we could say pool and patio, and then like architectural and more. And that's it. So again, it's the approach where you're not just screaming, buy for me, here's my business. It's just a more natural kind of laid back, cool approach, promoting your best images, letting them know what you offer. If they're in the buying mood or the shopping mood, they're going to go ahead and fill out the form. And then following the hook comes the body. So additional information on your business. It could be mission statements, more about us, etc. Further education into the description of your services. You could hit pain points, calling out exclusivity, urgency, and slipping in some sub offers. That kind of make more sense when I walk through some copy. And then lastly, you're going to finish with a call to action. So click, get quote, or learn more below to schedule your free or complimentary consultation and receive 10% off or receive a free power wash, whatever it might be. Within your offer, within your headline, you want to make sure you're focused on your offer. But good offers really is anything monetary. People like to save money, especially through a social media advertisement. So I like to make the point that it's Facebook exclusive, exclusive to our Facebook friends, 10 to 20% off, 500 to 1,000, etc. Or free X with Y, get a new roof, get your gutters cleaned for free, get a new roof, get a free power wash. If people don't want to promote anything money off or that, just lead with complimentary or free consultations, inspection estimates, whatever they call it. And the last thing, really, if they don't want to do any of that, you have to lean on pain points and ultimately the end results. So the end results kind of like more with that pool company, it's just focusing on how, do you want a backyard, that feels like a vacation? And pain point can be like, do you have a leak in your roof? Like how long until, it causes serious issues on your home? And then urgency and exclusivity is really like the video where it's like for the next 10 homeowners, get X, Y, and Z. So walking through some copy here. Hook, here's more kind of pain point. Here's when you should be concerned about those cracks in your basement. Don't let water damage ruin your home. Going to their services, our expert crack injection services seal, waterproof your foundation, keeping your basement dry and protected. Call to action. This one for a roofer, leading with offer. Get $1,000 off a new shingle roof, backed by a 10-year workmanship guarantee and lifetime shingle. Sub offer, we'll even throw in a $200 gift card. And then more about us, family-owned roofing company, mission statement, call to action. Kind of a pain point here. Tired of putting lights up every year. Escape the hassle. So this is problem solution. Are you tired of putting up lights? Escape the hassle with our permanent roof line lighting solutions. Easy to use mobile app, fully customizable, custom colors and patterns, flexible payment options, call to action. Now we got leading with intro. So this is the video I showed where the guy was standing up by his deck. That video too, over 500 likes, dozens of comments and shares. Nice to meet you. My name is Michael, owner of MLT General Contractor. This is the exclusivity urgency approach. We're looking for 10 homeowners this summer, looking to have their homes transformed. Offer, don't miss out, get $1,500 off, call to action. And then another kind of lengthy personal approach and pain points. Many homeowners hesitate when investing because will it look right? What if I don't love it? Will it be a hassle? That's why we created, our White Glove outdoor lighting services. So a further description on how they operate. Step 1, request a consultation. Step 2, receive an estimate, installation, maintenance, and support, call to action. Actually, one more here. Kind of play on the introduction, but not leading with first person, but welcome to RL Poolscapes. And this is kind of the end result. If you've been dreaming of a backyard that feels like a private luxury resort, you're in the right place. Calling out their location here in Southwest Florida. Outdoor living isn't just an option, it's a lifestyle. A couple of mission statements, call the action. I even like to sign off the CEO's name at the bottom of copy as if, they were the ones who wrote it. So that is kind of the full rundown on crafting a compelling offer. So last two things, and it's already been an hour, this thing is flying by. I'll try to crack this out in about 20 minutes. I'm going to quickly kind of just show you the structure I do for creating a campaign, and then we're going to get a bot built up pretty quickly. So this is a client, so I'm going to kind of show you the structure, and then I'll dive into the campaign that's set up because we're planning on launching them tomorrow. But ultimately, with lead generation, I'm going in here. We're doing leads, always doing manual leads. I don't do recommended settings, more control over everything within the audience. I'm naming it the business name. So we'll do what's called test. Nothing's going to change here. If you're doing one ad set, technically you could put the budget here, but I just always do it within the ad set section. Ad set name, I generally just name it on the type of targeting that we're doing. That's going to be open or interest. You could also delegate it by budget and then the locations that you're using. So most of the time, I'm understand my process. I'll just name it open. But if you want to understand exactly what's going on, you could say you're spending $50 a day and you are targeting by zip codes. And then going down, we want to lead forms, make sure the page is correct. If the terms aren't accepted, click view terms, accept them. Performance goal, always maximum number of leads, not maximum number of conversion leads. So I've tested this plenty of times, enough to not ultimately run it again. Ultimately, you're going to get more volume through maximum number of leads. Nothing to worry about cost per result or dynamic creative, putting in our budget here. So let's say this guy's spending $100 a day. If I'm setting them up and we're ready to schedule in the morning, I generally do 5 to 6 a.m. launch. So that spend is spread throughout the day. And then for audience, I am switching to the original audience. Again, for more freedom. So location, I am a big fan of doing zip codes. So I'm coming under here to add locations in bulk. I have the 30 to 50 zip codes they want to target. I paste them in here. And then they'll all match, and then you basically add the locations that way. Age, usually for home service, I'm 30 to 65 plus. I'll possibly go down to 27 if the audience size is kind of small and want to bring it up a little bit more. But generally, just ask your client, who's your average buyer, age range, and that's what you're going to use for here. Always targeting all genders. Detailed targeting, I'll touch on this in a second. I always have it off. And for placements, I favor manual. I want my ads just on the feeds, reels, and stories. Generally, just think about yourself. Where do you generally hang out when you're scrolling late at night? So I'm going to make sure the placements are spent well just on those feeds, reels, and stories. And then going into the advertisement, nothing major here. Make sure your Facebook page is correct with the Instagram. I turn off multi-advertiser. Doesn't really make much sense for local. And then creating the copy, headline, and everything of the rest there. So basically, to dive more into that again, that's the structure. So actually, let me make the point of this. So if I'm spending $100 a day, typically I'm going to either have one ad set, and then I'm going to run 3 ads under that ad set. So then Facebook basically pick and choose where they think is going to get the best results. So one ad might one day get $50 and the other get 25 each. One might get 80 and the other 10. So it's kind of a play on letting Facebook do the control. But also, if I'm spending $100 a day, which is a healthy budget, I will basically have 3 ad sets with 1 ad each. So basically, I'm duplicating this twice, and then each ad set will have $33 a day to meet that $100 a day budget. So instead of giving Facebook the freedom to pick and choose which ad is going to get a lot of spend, this is kind of a more streamlined, guaranteed approach that each creative is going to get that $33 a day. So within 3 to 5 days, you'll have an understanding on which one's getting a lot of clicks, which one's bringing in the leads. Recycle the losers, replicate the winners from there. So to walk you through again, this guy is spending the 100. I'm doing the approach of just the 3 initially. Some of this copy was what I just talked through. This is a real life campaign that we're launching tomorrow. So tired of putting up lights every year. Escape the hassle with our permanent roofline solutions. Features, call to action, running a May Mayhem offer. Light up your home and get 10% off. Then more professional based ad. This one you could kind of see that they do roofline lighting, kind of just showing their logos to the guys working there. It's app controlled, offer on the bottom. Leading with the offer in the copy here, it's May Mayhem, and we're cutting 10% off all lighting projects. Going into services, we specialize in custom outdoor lighting that does X, Y, and Z. Mission statement, call to action, restating the offer within the headline. And then lastly is that personal video that I showed you with that copy, introducing yourself, going into some pain points, how they operate with that call to action. And then lead form is basic. Basically on the headline, you're going to restate your offer. If you're using Ava, generally, I'm just collecting name, email, phone, and zip code so I can get more volume in on the lead form, and then we're doing all the qualifying through Ava. So just one more thing that we're going to do here, basically full service. So just set up the campaign. Now it is time to create that actual bot. So this is a bot that we already have for an outdoor lighting company. So to make this as simple and easy for myself, I'm just going to duplicate this one. So it's a copy. This one is for, his name is Jeff. I'm going to bring my response time down to 5 seconds. Generally, it's 60 seconds. I'm going to test it. I don't want to be sitting here to wait a minute for each response. Let's actually do 3 seconds. So I won't dive too much into these settings, again, because in the modules in the classroom, I touch on all these features. So again, we could dive more into that on your own time. But labeled it right. We're going to integrate his account. So if I add new, it should bring up the appropriate account. Yes, this should be the right one. All right. A little bit of slow loading time at CloseBot sometimes. It'll fall through. All right. So from there, we're integrated. So I favor If you don't use OpenAI's API key, you automatically fall under CloseBot's credits. So what we do basically is go to Platform API. I won't do it right now. Actually, I might as well up here. You go into settings, and then we're just grabbing a specific API key. We found through actually using API through OpenAI leads to better conversations. So create the API key, put that here. It's going to connect. So now we're not falling under OpenAI or the CloseBot's credits. Now we have the key. Turning on some settings here. So if the contact says goodbye, I'm going to make sure that's turned off. And then again, for the main business, this is information that was already submitted for the other lighting company. So I'm just going to change basic information. I'm not going to be as tedious as I would usually be just for sake of time, but I'm just going to go over the basics. So a team of professionals who are passionate about creating outdoor spaces. Let's just say North Carolina. Actually, they're in South Carolina. We specialize in a wide range of outdoor lighting services, including landscape, architectural, tree and pool, pathway. Yep, hours. Make sure the website link is correct. Go into, sorry guys, my tabs mixed up. Put that there again, because like I said, if a lead asks for the website link, the bot's going to read into here, and since it has the website link under important business information, it has the power to send that out. And then I'm just scrolling down for their phone number. Yep, for pricing, we never want to drop price through the bot, so always make the indication that we can't get them an accurate quote without first visiting their home or scheduling a phone call. And then again, reading more into these settings in those other videos. So following objectives, this one is simple. We're asking basically if they're interested in lighting for home or for their business. We collect their address because we're not collecting it quite on the lead form. I have name and email on here because for the chat widget, basically, we don't know anything about them. We need to collect their name, email, and phone number beforehand. And then going into the booking aspect. So now we are diving into his sub account. So basically, first step, I need to make sure I connected the right one. I don't think I did. Nope, that should be the right one. Okay. So first step, the first workflow is going to be, actually, the first step is going to be making sure you're A2P approved. Obviously, you can't send any messages if that's the case. So this one is already A2P approved. We're good to go. I actually do need to purchase a phone number. So to purchase a phone number through here, we're going to filter it out because I want a local phone number of 980. So I want 980. First part of the number locally. Apply. Get those popped up. So perfect. We'll rip the New Salem, North Carolina one. Oh, don't want to click that. And then proceed to buy. Awesome. We're successful. Our A2P is done. I'm going to make sure. I'm going to select it. I'm going to link that. It's linked because it's all right. Now we are set with A2P and a phone number. We're going to dive into our workflows. So the first workflow is going to be the first message that's sending out. Oh, and I need to backtrack. So you need to integrate, obviously, their Facebook page and ad accounts into their Go High Level. Done this many of times. Let's see if I could find Light Up. Perfect. All leads, connect. Well, this should work. Yeah, it'll work. I actually didn't have the lead form quite created yet, but technically we could push it through to the automation to not need the lead form. So we'll see if that works. So now, finally on the Facebook lead form submitted is here, you would select the form. So form is, don't have one quite yet, save that trigger. This should still pull. And then we're going to send that first message. So usually first message is, hey, this is Jeff with contact first name. And I put 2 lines here. I put 2 lines here because that opt-out message is going to send. So by having these little 2 lines, it's going to send this, and then under here we'll have it. So it just looks a little prettier. And then I won't go too deep into our follow-ups. Usually I'm doing a 3-hour one right after the initial one. and just saying, hey, just checking if this slipped through. I could do is this contact first name. Save, always name your workflows, do an initial message. And then we need to get the webhook out. So our trigger here is going to be customer replied to the SMS channel, and then we're webhooking out to closebot. So webhook, it's already in here at the closebot. Find that link in the classroom, and then I always put message and message body here. Publish that. Webhook. Now, in a perfect world, if I text myself, this is going to work. So let's test it live and see if everything's correct. I am integrated. I'm doing 3 seconds. So to test it, I'm just creating my own contact. Don't text me. And then I'm going to push it through to that message. So we'll see if it works. If there's troubleshoot, hopefully I can figure it out live here. So got the message.
If you made it this far, it's likely you're incredibly serious about your AI agency. Next steps would be to either join my 7-day free trial where you can get 7 days of free access into my mentorship program, or book a call with me if you want me to install this directly into your business.